Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. It is Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back. It is April 2nd, 2024. I hope you all had a wonderful Easter and a great day yesterday. We're back today. There is a press conference we're going to be covering today, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 p.m. Central, at 11 a.m. Central. I'm so glad that you all are joining me for that as we do cover that and other things. So let's get this boat in the water and get this show on the road. Here we go. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great start to their day. Hope y'all had a great Easter. Sorry I didn't see everybody yesterday. It was busy yesterday. Busy, busy, busy. Um, so here we are today. We are covering the press conference is going to be coming up here very shortly. So, welcome for that, guys. I appreciate you guys joining me for that as well. Let's see here. 1 second. Okay. And my understanding is that the way they broadcast or they put this out was that there was no new info, but I don't understand why they're doing it then. So we'll see what they have to say. A couple of little things to look at in regards to that. We're going to be moving into hopefully something else this week that is very important to me as well. We've been talking about it, but we're going to actually get into something else with it. Uh, Hopefully soon we're going to be throwing up some Delphi stuff for sure. Um, you know, and I do too. Have a lot of questions for the Sebastian scenario. There's a lot of strange things that I have still that haven't been answered question wise. So that's something that I definitely hope maybe they'll answer. We'll see. Excuse me. So first out of the gate, let's see who we got here with us. That way we can be ready to go when this does happen. It looks like Miss Salty's in the house. True Crime Time. Welcome back. Good to see you. CR, welcome back to you. Always a pleasure. Doodlebug is in the house. Good to see you, Doodle. Miss Cassie, great to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Miss Carolyn Miller, welcome back. And welcome back to the sauce. Great to see that today. Neil Homestead, welcome back to you. Great to see you. Good golly, Miss Molly's in the house. Good to see you, Molly dear. I hope you got some sleep. Um, let's see. Tracy again, welcome back to you. Great to see you. T2014, welcome back. Always a pleasure. Tomboy Charms in the house. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Miss Holly, thank you for joining us. Great to have you here. Great to see you. The Misfit Pariah. Welcome back. Great to have you here. And I hope you had a great Easter as well. Walt Harris in the house. What's going on, Walt? Good to see you. Excuse me. Let's see, guys. Make sure you're hitting that like button as you come through that door, if you will. I appreciate it very much. Virginia Anderson, thank you for joining us. Great to see you. Welcome back, Taxi Slut. Great to see you. Great to have you here. Sammy Reese is in the house. Good morning. Good to see you today. Jesse Lynn, welcome back. Good to see you. Good to have you here. I appreciate you very much. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat, if you will. Get comfortable. We're going to be here for a bit. So come on down. Give me a second here. Hold on. Come on in. Miss Kells is in the house. Welcome back, Kells. Good to see you today. Hope you had a great Easter as well. That goes for all of you guys. Just so everybody knows, and I want to give out a huge thanks to you all. Guys, we broke 8,000 subscribers the other day. So thank you so very much for that. That means the world to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. It's amazing. NFT, welcome back. Great to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you very much for being here. Virginia Anderson. Looks like I got everybody. It's wonderful to have you all here for this. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Thank you, Jesse. Pick me. Welcome back. Good to see you. We're moving on up, folks. Little by little, we're getting there. Definitely, definitely getting there. I appreciate you guys for making that happen too, because it's all about you. Every bit of it. Thank you, Kels, Jesse Lynn, Cassie, all you guys. Thank you very much. Cooking. I hope you're cooking something good. Pick me. Miss Brandy B's in the house. There she is. Good to see you, Brandy. Thank you for joining us today. You are appreciated. That goes for all of you. If we can, guys. Tanya Oberov, thank you for joining us. Good to see Tina B's in the house. April Palmer, welcome back. Good to see you. That's awesome, guys. I see you. Some of you guys are doing it. Deb Wilkes, welcome back to you. Nat Cat, welcome back. Great to see you. Sorceress is in the house. Way of welcome. Great to have you here. If we could all, in support of Sebastian, light up the chat with the green hearts, guys. I would really appreciate that very much. Yeah, that sounds good. Pick me. Misty Phillips, welcome. Wonderful to have you here, a new subscriber, first live for your channel. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed it enough to want to come back. Welcome back, Party of Five. Great to see you today. Thank you for joining us. There they go, guys. The hearts are coming. Appreciate that, guys. Again, this is just in support of Sebastian, as a part of what I call Sebastian's army. That's all of the people that are out here looking for him, supporting this, and caring about him, period. And that's in support of that. So thank you all very much for that. And again, with the new subscribers, guys, please, if you will, welcome them with open arms as we do with anybody new that jumps in here. I hope that everybody does that as well. Tammy Pauly, welcome back. Good to see you, Kyra. Thank you for joining us. Leslie and Billy, welcome back. Good to see you. Ooh, sorry to hear that, Leslie. I hope she's feeling better. Probably all that Easter candy, trying to eat too much of it. Fat Baby Toodles, what's happening in the house? Thick Infant, good to see ya. Thank you for joining us. Lord, I know I haven't seen Phantasmic Ether in a while. I hope she's doing okay. Haven't seen her in a minute. Starting to wonder. Moonlit Baby's in the house. Welcome back, Moonlit. Great to see you. Great to have you here. And there it is, never fails. And it's CR drops the membership every time she's here. Without fail, guys. It never fails. Thank you so much for that. CR, I appreciate that so very much. And it looks like Salty was gifted that membership. That's awesome. Thank you for that again. And welcome back to the sauce, Salty. If you already weren't, keeping that meatball a rolling. That's appreciated. Welcome, smart ass patriot. Good to see you. And then it looks like Miss Cassie just gifted a membership out to Jesse Lynn. Welcome back to the sauce for you, Jesse. I appreciate that very much, Cassie. Thank you so very much. And thank you guys so very much for the green hearts in support of Sebastian. I appreciate that more than you guys know. I still haven't been able to get in touch with Eddie. I'm hoping it's gonna happen soon. Yes, Miss Jessie, you're green again. And welcome to all my moderators. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you all had a wonderful Easter. Of course, Mama Bear is working. Unfortunately, she won't be joining us that way. She might pop into the chat if she gets a chance, but not up here. But the rest of you guys, I really appreciate everything you guys do. I couldn't do this without you guys, and I wouldn't want to either. So, absolutely, Kathy. Miss Jen Burris, welcome back. Good to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Great to have you here. That's right. Hashtag Sebastian's Army. Thank you. Let's bring them home. Maybe today will be the day. I was hoping for that Easter miracle Seth was talking about, but it didn't happen. I did watch something that was a little bit, how can I put it? It threw me off, guys. I'll just say that. It threw me off. It was a little disturbing to me. Something that the United Cajun Navy put out. I'm sure you guys have all seen it. Let me find it here to show you real quick. 1 second. Miss Brandy dropped it out here for me. Here we go. Let me see. Let's see if we can get this up here. It was kind of maybe.
Sebastian Rogers sound.
Hold on a second. This is interesting. It was something that was put out on TikTok through Steph's case files. That's how I got the link to it. Miss Brandy dropped for me this morning, and I was really kind of blown away by this. I'm gonna play this for you guys real quick before we go into the press conference. I thought it was, like I said, it's a bit disturbing for different reasons, but hold on a minute, guys. Sorry. 1 second. Good afternoon, Steve. SWTC's in the house. Good to see you guys. Please hit that like button on your way in the door so we can get this out in the algorithm, guys. I would really, really appreciate that. Yeah, I think a lot of you guys probably saw this, but this is disturbing to me for many different reasons. Let's check this out here.
The United Cajun Navy came in town into Hendersonville, Tennessee, to help look for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, who has been missing for over a month now. I apologize for my cat. What's important here is who said what next. So we know the UCN, or it stands for United Cajun Navy, packed up and backed up and said, listen, we can't, the search is off because.
Welcome, Allie and Mazzy. Good to see you.
So, when will they search again? This is very important considering this phone call that happened. This is a recorded phone call.
Welcome, Party of Five.
They claim they know where Sebastian is. Ooh, I want you to take a listen. It's going to unravel from here, and we need to know.
Thank you, Doodle. Appreciate you, dear.
Know where he is, and what can we do to get them going on that search? Okay, make sure you bookmark this so you can find your way back.
And you know what? We had to pull out because of threats, but let me tell you something. We didn't pull out. We just backed. Well, you know what happened? we on to something. That's why we're getting followed. That's why we're getting threatened, and that's why we're getting.
What he actually says is the wording isn't right. We were on to something, and that's why we were getting. Just for those of you that didn't understand that.
Do we know what happened? No. Do we have a theory that we believe is, the most reliable theory that we're pretty sure is what happened? Of course. Can we get to where the body is, we think? That's why we keep getting shot or threatened, and all kinds of fire and everything else. We know that we're in the right area. We just can't get access to that area.
So according to that, which I have no faith in that. Okay, I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful or rude to them. I'm just saying, if you knew where you believe that quote unquote this body was, then law enforcement should know. Okay. And if that's the case, then we would know something. Okay. Whether you think you can get to it or not. And I agree. Salty says the UCN has had issues in hurricane country for years. Country. Sorry about that. They hold no water with me. Sorry. I was a little surprised people didn't know their reputation. And a lot of us didn't, but I think they're proving themselves real quickly. There's been a lot of actual Cajun Navy groups that are the real Cajun Navy that have said, mm-mm. So please, folks, take that statement there with a grain of salt. It's disturbing to me for that reason because I don't believe that they have what they're saying they have, in my opinion. I'm sorry. The 100%. Thank you. That's the thing right there. If you're going to come out and make a statement like that, where's the receipts on that? Okay. You can't just say something like that and go, we just can't get to it. Well, that's bullshit. I'm sorry. Somebody got to that. If that's the case and that was real, somebody else got in there to get to that point to begin with. Okay. To put him in there if that were the case. Well, I'm sorry, but I just don't believe that. So they were Misfit Pariah. They were involved in Riley's case, but they didn't do anything. They weren't the ones that found Riley. So I'm just saying, thank you, Doodle, again, hun. Appreciate that very much. Right. Right. I agree. Salty, 100%. I'm just don't say things. Don't put things like that out unless you have something to show for it. Period. That's all I'm saying. So I'm putting that there to show you guys. Please take that with a grain of salt because I just me personally, and I'm not saying my word is the word, but I feel like that to put it blatantly, I feel like it's bullshit. That's all I got to say. There's no way that you're gonna say, well, where we know we think we know where it's at, but we just can't get to that. That's about the worst thing you could put out. So it's ridiculous. I'm sorry. That's all I'm saying. Um, I think what he was gonna say, Jen, was that's why we keep getting shot down, and he stopped and changed it up. But no, they're talking about these threats they're getting, this, that, and everything else. So none of this holds any water with me. That's all I'm saying. So just please take that with a grain of salt. Don't read into any of that stuff, guys, because it's not fact driven. That's the important thing. We got to remember it's not. So thank you, Brandy, for showing me that. And I'm sorry, but I can't. I just can't. So I want you guys to see that and know that it's basically probably not anything real. So don't fall for it. That's all. Notice that you mentioned Delphi. I'm from Southern Indiana. I live in Kentucky. I'll say one thing about Indiana. It's extremely crooked, especially the northern part of the state. That state railroads people a lot. I've heard that a lot, Misty. Thank you for the input. I have heard that a lot. That is our TikTok link right there, guys, for you guys to check it out if you'd like to. No problem. True crime. Right. Let's see who else. What else we got here? Let me check the chat. That's the way I saw it as well, Jesse. That's how I saw it as well. So please, guys, please, because I know that's a problem that social media has. I've unfortunately, been involved in it as well, not purposely, but there are times that misinformation will get put out. People take that, they run with it, and it turns into a whole story by itself, and it's wrong. And that's not good. That's not good at all. So I wanted you guys to see this, and as I said, it was disturbing to me because I just don't believe it. Sorry. And if they prove me wrong, then I'll be wrong. That's okay. Other than that, they shouldn't be putting stuff like that out. They shouldn't be making statements like that. So that's why I wanted you guys to see it and get my thoughts on it as well. And I'm not telling you how to feel about it. I'm just telling you, please, please take it with a grain of salt. That's all. I thought he was. I know. I don't believe that. That's true either. Patriot at all. Good point, Misty. Welcome, Thomas Jarras. Good to see you today. Again, I hope everybody in here had a wonderful Easter. Thank you, Brandy. Anybody that would be interested in becoming part of the True Crime Cafe family, there's a link right there for it. If you should choose to, we are more than happy to have you. And thank you for that, Brandy. I appreciate that very much. And thank you to everybody that has supported the channel in this form here. It is so very much appreciated. Never expected, but always appreciated. And I appreciate each and every one of you just for being here and supporting the channel in that way. That means more to me than anything, just so you guys know. The support that you guys give this channel is absolutely amazing, and I appreciate that so much. Well, let's see. I've had a lot of people come at me and say that Moonlit Baby as well. I'm not gonna say that, specifically, but you definitely don't want to clickbait when there's a missing child. That's one thing I will say. That's not good. You got to take those as serious as possible, and the most serious out there. Period, in my opinion. So that was stated by a lot of people as well. Pick me. I agree. Welcome, Deb Ellers. I think I said that right. I hope. You as well, Allie, and thank you for that very much. Let's see. Miss Carolyn Miller became a member again. That's awesome. Again, thank you for all the green hearts in support of Sebastian, guys. That means the world to me. So let me move this along over here. And this as well. Let's get this up so we can have it ready to go for the presser. All right. I've had a lot of theories thrown at me recently. Um, like I said, other than that thing from the Navy there, I have everything on the table. Good point there, Salty. Welcome, Jackie Bushable. Truly amazing. Little bit. Welcome, all you guys. Thank you for joining me. Please, guys, if you can, hit the like button so we can get this up and out into the algorithm today so that this can be seen by everybody because it's that important, as always. Skinny's in the house. Welcome, Skinny. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you so very much. I see you, Miss Kells. You didn't hear me? I'm sorry, but I do see you. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me check something here. Did you change your name, Kells? I thought you had a Z on the end of your name. Maybe I was wrong. My apologies if so. I could have swore you had a Z on the end of your name, though. Unless you changed it. Okay, good, good. Just making sure. Making sure. I don't want somebody impersonating you, that's all. I did not ignore you, Cassie. I said hello to you a long time ago, but I can't ignore you. Hello. Speaking of which, where's your mom and how's your brother doing? Have you heard anything about that today? Is everything okay? Is it getting better? I hope. I know Tennessee's got a lot going on. I agree, Misty. It's crazy. My new boom. Oh yeah, yeah. Whoever sent that, by the way, thank you so very much for that. That's amazing. I needed it too because the other one was all bent, twisted up, and I kept banging into it, and it would fall over and everything. So thank you so very much for that, you guys. You just don't know. Um, Words don't express and can't express how much appreciation I have for the things you guys do for me. Literally, it's amazing. You guys are absolutely just amazing people, and I really appreciate each and every one of you so very much for that. He walks up. Good, good to hear. I'm glad he's little bit each day. He's getting better. That's awesome. I'm great. So happy to hear that. Thank you for the update. What's up, Jingles? Good to see you. So yes, whoever sent the boom, Mike Boom. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whoever that was, God bless. I appreciate it very much. I needed that bad because my other one was dangling and hanging on by a thread, and this one is amazing. It's very, very nice. My grandkids love it too because of the little lights on it. It's really neat. Not a drama, Nana. Good to see ya. Yes, we got storms heading our way too. He will walk for McDonald's. Hey, I'd walk for McDonald's. I get it. I love me some McDonald's. It's not good for me, but and it doesn't do me my stomach well, but I do like it. I like their breakfast stuff mostly. Yeah, the weather's coming on. I know we're supposed to be getting knocked pretty hard. Doodle had stuff down her way last night. I was worried about her this morning. As soon as I got up, I started trying to get a hold of her to make sure she was okay. She finally got back to me and she's good. Thank the Lord. Any one of you guys that are going through this weather stuff, I hope you're doing okay. Yes, their breakfast is the bomb. I love it, Cassie. I agree with you. Egg McMuffins are one of my favorites. Yes. Yes, they are, Molly. I know you'll be reaching out to me all the time to make sure. I'd have to walk over 30 miles. That's a good walk. It'd be about 10, 15 miles for me. When Miss Deb Wilkes, thank you so much for that. First super chat of the day. Thank you, or super sticker. I'm sorry. That's very, very cool. Thank you so much, Deb. God bless. We appreciate that so very much. Shaz Band, welcome. Good to see you. Hope you had a wonderful Easter. Thank you for joining us today. Virginia Wolf, welcome back, brother. Good to have you here today, too. Yes, Doodle's tough. She had it covered. I was still nervous. Very nervous. And like I said, it's been raining here for 2 days. And I'll tell you what, it's I'm a little nervous because usually when it storms here, this goes out and my power goes out and everything goes out. So you might be a softy at heart, but you're tough. That's one thing. It's true. You are definitely tough. You can handle some stuff. So, yeah, the weather, guys. Oh, Lord. Thank you very much, Deb. I appreciate that. I'm in Ohio, not so it's rolling our direction, that's for sure. I hope so too, Virginia. So my understanding is, and it should be the press conference should be Nashville 5. I'm hoping, because that's the first link I got yesterday about it. Welcome, Lindsay Culver. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. You are appreciated. And it looks like Shaz Band gifted a membership out to, or no, wait a minute. You gifted yourself a membership. How'd you work that out? That's interesting. That's wild. I never seen that happen before, but congrats, Shaz. I appreciate you. And welcome back to the sauce. That's awesome. That's never happened before. That's wild. That's pretty crazy. Record highs in Florida already, but I'm not complaining. That's better than the cold stuff, I bet. For those of you that live down there, you look forward to that warm stuff, that super hot stuff. Congrats, Shaz, and thank you at the same time. That's awesome. How do you gift yourself a membership? That's wild. I never seen that before. Is it Brandy's anniversary today? Somebody say that. T2014. Yeah, I kind of do follow. I follow that too. 2014 Ryan Hall for sure. All right, guys. Anytime now, this should start running. Thank you so much, Chaz. I appreciate that very much. Oh no, Lord. Looks like not a drama. Nana gifted 5 memberships. Little Bit was gifted. Sammy Reeser, Jody Walters, and Lindsay Culver. And I think that's and Molly Drake. All you guys gifted memberships to the True Crime Cafe. That's awesome. Thank you so very much for that, Nana. That is more than appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to give a shout out and say hello to Mr. Andrew. How are you today, sir? Thank you so much for watching today with your mom. I appreciate that very much. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a great Easter too, buddy. Thank you for watching the show with us. Very much appreciated. And welcome to the sauce, all you new meatballs. We appreciate you very much. I appreciate having you guys in here. As we spill sauce every day about these cases that we talk about, you are appreciated. And I love that you love the channel, Nada, very much. Crypto MVP. My mom gave me Easter gifts. That's awesome. I hope you guys all had a great Easter. Very much. Come on, give me a second, guys. $16 more likes to go. And we will be in that algorithm, guys.
To find Sebastian and bring him home. Despite the passage of time, the commitment to finding Sebastian remains unwavering. I said this when we scaled the search back. Our commitment to finding Sebastian remains. We will continue to investigate every possible lead that comes in. The Summary County Sheriff's Office wants to express our gratitude to the community and the many individuals who have helped in the search, the many individuals who have called in tips, the many individuals who have printed flyers and kept Sebastian's face in the news. Nothing would make me happier than to wake up tomorrow morning with a tip that cracks this case wide open and we find Sebastian and bring him home. At this time, I'll turn it over to Susan Allen from the TBI.
Thank you, WG. Hi, good morning. Thanks for being here. We know how invested everybody is in the search for Sebastian, in finding out what happened to him and bringing him home. And we want to let everybody know he has not been forgotten. Nobody's forgotten about him. Nobody has given up looking for him. At the beginning of this investigation, there was a large land search for him. It was very visible. There were also waterways, lakes, ponds that were searched. There were aerial searches with helicopters and drones and fixed wing planes. They were done at night. They were done on weekends. They were done during the day. That was very visible, and it was something everybody was able to see. But we want to let you know that even though there is not that high visibility in investigating this case, that we are not done. It's gone back to what could be considered good old-fashioned police work. Interviewing individuals, re-interviewing individuals, checking out leads, rechecking leads. We have been working with other law enforcement agencies who have had, in other jurisdictions, who have perhaps had some complex cases of their own that they have worked on to get tips from them. We have had, this day of technology with everyone having cell phones and doorbells and ring bells and surveillance cameras. That, as you can imagine, has been a bit of a chore to be able to collect all those and then review them. It's important so we know what's out there. We have been reviewing that, reviewing it again. We have had other agencies involved. The FBI has been helpful in that. Secret Service has also been helpful in that. So we are just trying to do whatever we can to advance the investigation. It has not gone to a place where anybody has forgotten about him or is not pursuing this. The parents have been cooperative throughout. At the beginning of the investigation, they have pretty much done whatever law enforcement has asked of them. At this point, we don't have any evidence. There is not any kind of an indication that there is a criminal element involved. But we are keeping options open. We don't know what has happened. We don't know where Sebastian is right now. So we are pursuing any and all avenues. We do want to caution there are some social media elements out there who purport to have information that is direct from the investigation. I just want to reiterate that is not the case. Some of the information that is being provided on some of the social media channels is inaccurate, incomplete. We don't want this to damage the investigation. So we would just caution anyone who is following the case to just use some caution as to what you see and what you believe. It's caused a bit of a distraction because a lot of what has been out there in some of the social media channels has been rumors and speculations and theories, and some of that has been advanced and people have caught a hold of it as if it's what's really happening. That has resulted in us getting information that is either, like I said, distracting. It's taking away time and effort from what the agencies
Welcome,
looking for Sebastian. We have had so far, as of this morning, 314 tips that have come in through the tip line. It's been mentioned, but I'll say it again. It's 1-800-TBI-FIND. We are also taking tips through email, which is tips to TBI, TBI, at tbi.tn.gov. What's next? We want people, as Chief Deputy said, to continue to remain vigilant, get Sebastian's picture out there, continue to share his picture, his information. Now that it's getting to be nicer, well, not not today with the weather, but now that the weather has turned warmer, people may be more inclined to be in their yards. If you go out and see anything that looks different, let us know. Something where perhaps a teenager could have hidden. If you have a large amount of property in the area or something that has any kind
Absolutely,
of
Virginia. Thank you.
unstable footing or ledges where, again, where a teen could have gone to hide or to play, and you don't feel comfortable checking it out, let us know. We'll get somebody from law enforcement to go out there with you or to check it out themselves. We just want to make sure that every stone is unturned, that there's no stone left unturned, that we want people to make sure that we are looking everywhere we can. We do want to continue to get the tips, but please make it.
I was trying to
don't
figure out
hesitate to
who
provide information that
looked
you
like
might
to
have
me,
seen
but
through social
that makes
media
sense right
channels.
there, Salty.
If
Thank
you
you.
have information about Sebastian, about conversations you might have had with him, things he likes to do, places he liked to go, any people he may have mentioned that are in his life, that could be helpful in finding out maybe what he was interested in. Finally, we want to thank the community. We want to thank the media. You guys have been really good about keeping his name in the public's eye. That's really important. And thank you for your diligence in providing that information out there. And as Chief Deputy said, we also want to thank the community. From the very first day, everybody has really been all in as far as whatever they can do to help in the search, to help pass information on.
Congrats,
providing
Groot, and thank
water
you.
for the teams that were out conducting the ground searches. So thank you again to everybody. I'm gonna
Welcome, Gene.
air credit.
The weather is rolling in. We've got time for some questions. So, yes, ma'am.
I was a few minutes behind, so sorry if I missed it, but has there been any indication at this point of foul play or anything of that nature?
There is no evidence to support foul play is involved in the disappearance of Sebastian.
But at this point, you don't rule it out.
We're not ruling anything out.
So 5 weeks, and you guys covered so much ground, searching, going back, researching, checked out every case of a possible sighting, nothing confirmed, not a trace of Sebastian anywhere, nothing found, no footprints, no video, nothing.
Nothing that is taken us to locate Sebastian.
And are there any working theories?
We come up with theories almost daily and try and investigate and make sure that we're doing everything we can to find Sebastian.
Share any of those?
No, sir.
2 questions, if I may. Have you ruled out Sebastian's mom's and stepdad's involvement in this case? And as a follow-up, have you cleared their alibi?
I think the TBI said it best. They've been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement.
Thank you,
since day
Shaz.
one of this investigation. There is no evidence to support foul play on the part of Sebastian's parents.
Is that moving to Memphis interfering at all with your investigation? Is it changing possibly the avenues of communication?
No, sir.
You mentioned you were asked about recent evidence. We heard some rumors that you see have some validity, that there were glasses found within the past few days. Can you confirm that?
There were some glasses found in the past few days.
Or have you been able to identify that they were Sebastian?
We are still investigating.
And on the Cajun Navy, have you found how is that coordination happening? Have you found their work helpful? Are you guys working in unison or a separate team?
The Cajun Navy is operating independently. They have not reached out to us.
Have you found their investigation or their work helpful, or has it been one of the distractions that have been mentioned?
One of the things that I really appreciate they've done is print flyers and keep Sebastian's face out there. It's my hope that one day somebody sees something and calls in and this case breaks wide open and we find Sebastian.
They've claimed they've received threats. To your knowledge, have they filed any police reports or reports to the Sheriff's Department documenting any of these alleged threats?
No, sir.
Are we able to learn anything about what those threats are?
They would have to call the police and report them.
Where's the search go from here? It's been 5 weeks. There's been no signs. Do you believe he's still alive? And what are you guys going to continue working on?
My hope and prayer is that Sebastian is still alive. Yes. We're going to continue to work on this investigation, follow up every tip and lead that comes in. Some of this may revert back to us going over some things that we've already done for the 6th, 7th, or 8th time. A fresh set of eyes never hurt anything. We're going to continue to work to find Sebastian.
Has the story been changing at all as you've been talking with people, interviewing them for a second time possibly?
There is no evidence to support foul play.
Are there any active currently that you guys are pursuing?
We have tips called in daily.
Any of those tips seem legitimate enough to expand law enforcement resources.
Regardless of their legitimacy, we're going to follow up on them.
Will there be any other agencies pulled in to help in the search efforts for these cases?
I'm certain there will be.
You met with the biological father and mother this past week. Is that at their request, your request? Is that just re-interviewing them again?
Great
That was
question,
at the request
Salty.
of law enforcement. It's not uncommon to talk to the family in investigations like this. I've got time for one more question.
Just overall, how has this investigation impacted the morale at your department, especially with all the scrutiny coming online?
Let me put it to you like this. If my kid was missing, this is the team I'd want on it. The men and women of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, the FBI partners, the other local agencies, the Secret Service, everyone who's had a hand in this case is doing everything they can to find Sebastian. Morale's high. We are here and we are dedicated. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for keeping Sebastian in the public. Please continue to publicize this photo. Thank you all. Eric Craddock, ERIC-CRADDOCK, and I'm the Chief Deputy at the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. I'm joined today by Susan Nyland, SUSAN-NILAND, of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. She's the PIN. I also have with me Sumner County Emergency Management Director Ken Widener, KENWEIDNER. You guys ready? All right. Morning. I'm Eric Craddock with Sumner County Sheriff's Office, and we're going to come to you today with an update on the Sebastian Rogers case. Sebastian has been missing since late February. The investigation remains ongoing with steadfast support from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, and many other local and federal resources. We are exploring every lead that comes in and every tip that comes in. As I said before, the investigation remains ongoing. The entire community is deeply saddened by what has occurred. We're all extremely concerned for Sebastian's welfare. I want to encourage the community to stay vigilant, to report anything that they think may be of some significance to the investigation, no matter how minute it may appear to be to you. Please call 1-800-TBI-FIND with any tips, or the Sumner County Emergency Communications Center at 615-451-3838. We understand the anxiety and the concern that this case has caused in the community. We too share the anxiety and concern for Sebastian. I want to reiterate that we are doing everything we can to find Sebastian and bring him home. Despite the passage of time, the commitment to finding Sebastian remains unwavering. I said this when we scaled the search back.
Playing this again for those of you that may have jumped in after.
We will continue to investigate every possible lead that comes in. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office wants to express our gratitude to the community and the many individuals who have helped in the search, the many individuals who have called in tips, the many individuals who have printed flyers and kept Sebastian's face in the news. Nothing would make me happier than to wake up tomorrow morning with a tip that cracks this case wide open and we find Sebastian and bring him home. At this time, I'll turn it over to Susan Nyland from the TBI.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for being here. We know how invested everybody is in the search for Sebastian, in finding out what happened to him and bringing him home. And we want to let everybody know he has not been forgotten. Nobody's forgotten about him.
Once we get through this again, I'm going to go ahead and open the phone lines up and we can talk about this because I do have some questions as well. I know a lot of people wanted to talk about this. Welcome, Willows. And it sent me emails saying they wanted to talk about this. So we will do that once this is over. I'm going to play it. I'm playing it a second time for those that may have come in late and missed it. That's why we're doing it twice.
Nobody has given up looking for him. At the beginning of this investigation, there was a large land search for him. It was very visible. There were also waterways, lakes, ponds.
I'm sorry to hear that, Moonlight.
There were aerial searches with helicopters and drones and fixed wing planes. They were done at night. They were done on weekends. They were done during the day. That was very visible, and it was something everybody was able to see. But we want to let you know that even though there is not that high visibility in investigating this case, that we are not done. It's gone back to what could be considered good old fashioned police work. Interviewing individuals, re-interviewing individuals, checking out leads, rechecking leads. We have been working with other law enforcement agencies who have had in other jurisdictions who have perhaps had some complex cases of their own that they have worked on to get tips from them. We have had, this day of technology with everyone having cell phones and doorbells and ring bells and surveillance cameras. That, as you can imagine, has been a bit of a chore to be able to collect all those
Doodle.
and then review them. It's important so we know what's out there. We have been reviewing that, reviewing it again. We have had other agencies involved. The FBI has been helpful in that. Secret Service has also been helpful in that. So we are just trying to do whatever we can to advance the investigation. It has
Good to
not
hear, Moonlit.
gone to a place where anybody has forgotten about him or is not pursuing this. The parents have been cooperative throughout at the beginning of the investigation. They have pretty much done whatever law enforcement has asked of them. At this point, we don't have any evidence. There is not any kind of an indication that there is a criminal element involved. But we are keeping options open. We don't know what has happened. We don't know where Sebastian is right now. So we are pursuing any and all avenues. We do want to caution there are some social media elements out there who purport to have information that is direct from the investigation. I just want to reiterate that is not the case. Some of the information
That's about
that is
Legion Navy right there.
provided on some of the social media channels is inaccurate, incomplete. We don't want this to damage the investigation. So we would just caution anyone who is following the case to just use some caution as to what you see and what you believe. It's caused a bit of a distraction because a lot of what has been out there in some of the social media channels has been rumors and speculations and theories, and some of that has been advanced and people have caught a hold of it as if it's what's really happening. That has resulted in us getting information that is either, like I said, distracting. It's taking away time and effort from what the agencies need to be doing as far as looking for Sebastian. We have had so far, as of this morning, 314 tips that have come in through the tip line. It's been mentioned, but I'll say it again. It's 1-800-TBI-FIND. We are also taking tips through email, which is tips to TBI, TBI, at tbi.tn.gov. What's next? We want people, as Chief Deputy said, to continue to remain vigilant, get Sebastian's picture out there, continue to share his picture, his information. Now that it's getting to be nicer, well, not today with the weather, but now that the weather has turned warmer, people may be more inclined to be in their yards. If you go out and see anything that looks different, let us know. Something where perhaps a teenager could have hidden. If you have a large amount of property in the area or something that has any kind of holes or unstable footing or ledges where a teen could have gone to hide or to play, and you don't feel comfortable checking it out, let us know. We'll get somebody from law enforcement to go out there with you or to check it out themselves.
Thank you, everybody.
We want to make sure
Appreciate it.
that every stone is unturned, that there's no stone left unturned, that we want people to make sure that we are looking everywhere we can. We do want to continue to get the tips, but please don't provide information that you might have seen through social media channels. If you have information about Sebastian, about conversations you might have had with him, things he likes to do, places he liked to go, any people he may have mentioned that are in his life, that could be helpful in finding out maybe what he was interested in. Finally, we want to thank the community. We want to thank the media. You guys have been really good about keeping his name in the public's eye. That's really important. And thank you for your diligence in providing that
Thank you,
information
Jimmy.
out there.
And yeah,
As
we'll
Chief
talk
Deputy
about that
said,
as
we
soon as they're
also
done.
want to thank the community from the very first
Thank you for
day.
joining us.
Everybody
It's
has
great to
really
have you
been
here.
all in as far as whatever they can do to help in the search, to help pass information on, providing water for the teams that were out conducting the ground searches. So thank you again to everybody. I'm going to pass it back to Eric Credit.
The weather is rolling in. We've got time for some.
We're going to do the questions here and we'll be done. And then I'll talk about a couple things that were said as well. And like I said, I'm going to open the phone lines and an open discussion in regards to things and this and that, because there's a couple things I want to address myself again. So thank you all for being here again. I appreciate you very much.
Some questions. So, yes, ma'am.
I was a few minutes behind, so sorry if I missed this, but has there been any indication at this point of foul play or anything of that nature?
There is no evidence to support foul play is involved in the disappearance of Sebastian.
But at this point, you don't rule it out.
We're not ruling anything out.
So 5 weeks, and you guys covered so much ground, searching, going back, researching, checked out every case of a possible sighting, nothing confirmed, not a trace of Sebastian anywhere, nothing found, no footprints, no video, nothing.
Nothing that is taken us to locate Sebastian.
And are there any working theories?
We come up with theories almost daily and try and investigate and make sure that we're doing everything we can to find Sebastian.
Share any of those?
No, sir.
2 questions, if I may. Have you ruled out Sebastian's mom's and stepdad's involvement in this case? And as a follow-up, have you cleared their alibi?
I think the TBI said it best. They've been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement since day one of this investigation. There is no evidence to support foul play on the part of Sebastian's parents.
Is that moving in Memphis interfering at all with your investigation? Is it changing possibly the avenues of communication?
No, sir.
You mentioned when you were asked about recent evidence, we've heard some rumors that you see castle validity, that there were glasses found within the past few days. Can you confirm that?
There were some glasses found in the past few days.
Or have you been able to identify that they were Sebastian?
We are still investigating.
Thank you. Opinionated and welcome.
And on the Cajun Navy, have you found how was that coordination happening? Have you found their work helpful? Are you guys working in unison or a separate team?
The Cajun Navy is operating independently. They have not reached out to us.
Have you found their investigation?
Now, that doesn't mean, listen, guys, please, that's what I'm saying. And that's what I want to make clear. He said there were glasses found over the past couple of days. They're still investigating to make sure that they do belong to Sebastian. So I don't want everybody thinking they found his glasses. That's it. Because we don't know that yet. They found a pair of glasses. They haven't been ruled as in being Sebastian's as of yet. That's why they're still investigating that. So hopefully that's something that they will come out with soon to let you know.
Helpful, or has it been one of the distractions that has been mentioned?
One of the things that I really appreciate they've done is print flyers and keep Sebastian's face out there. It's my hope that one day somebody sees something and calls in.
Welcome, AG and 12 gauge. Sarah, welcome to all of you.
They claim they've received threats. To your knowledge, have they filed any police reports or reports to the Sheriff's Department documenting any of these alleged threats?
No, sir.
Are we able to learn anything about what those threats are?
They would have to call the police and report them.
Where's the search go from here? It's been 5 weeks, there's been no signs. Do you believe he's still alive? And what are you guys going to continue working on?
My hope and prayer is that Sebastian is still alive. Yes. We're going to continue to work on this investigation and follow up every tip and lead that comes in. Some of this may revert back to us going over some things that we've already done for the 6th, 7th, or 8th time. A fresh set of eyes never hurt anything. We're going to continue to work to find Sebastian.
Has the story been changing at all as you've been talking with people, interviewing them for a second time possibly?
There is no evidence to support foul play.
Are there any active currently that you guys are pursuing?
We have tips called in daily.
Any of those tips seem legitimate enough to expand law enforcement resources?
Regardless of their legitimacy, we're going to follow up on them.
Will there be any other agencies pulled in to help in the search efforts for this case?
I'm certain there will be.
You met with the biological father and mother this past week. Is that at their request, your request? Is that just re-interviewing them again?
That was at the request of law enforcement. It's not uncommon to talk to the family in investigations like this. I've got time for one more question.
Just overall, how has this investigation impacted the morale at your department, especially with all the scrutiny coming online?
Let me put it to you like this. If my kid was missing, this is the team I'd want on it. The men and women of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, the FBI partners, the other local agencies, the Secret Service, everyone who's had a hand in this case is doing everything they can to find Sebastian. Morale's high. We are here and we are dedicated. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for keeping Sebastian in the public. Please continue to publicize this photo. Thank you all.
All right, guys. So there again, Sumner County Sheriff's Department says there were a pair of glasses found over the past couple days. They're still investigating that. That's it. They didn't say that they are. Welcome, Sarah. Welcome back, and I hope you're feeling better. They did not say that they are Sebastian's glasses. That's why they're still investigating to see if they belong to Sebastian based on the prescription, the frames, so on and so forth. So it could take a little bit of time to clarify all that. And I'm sure they'll let everybody know whether they were or they weren't. So, I'm just saying because I'm sure there's going to be somebody out there that's going to put out, they found his glasses and everybody's going to go crazy. And I just don't want that. Just like, that's why I showed you guys that Cajun Navy thing. I don't believe that, folks. And she, in my opinion, the lady from the TBI just said, in my opinion, she was talking about them, that those things that are coming off, certain things coming out of social media are not true. So again, no, they did not confirm. That's the thing right there, Salty. They did not confirm they were, because he said there were a pair of glasses found over the past couple of days, but they're still investigating that, which tells me that they're not confirming that they're Sebastian's at all. They're still investigating it. Therefore, they are not his as far as I'm concerned until they tell me they're his. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind, you guys, until we hear TBI or Sumner County Sheriff say, these belong to Sebastian Rogers. That's what I'm going to say. That's when it's going to be known that they're his. All they said was that there's a pair of glasses that were found over the past couple of days, and they're still investigating that. So we got to go with that, guys. And they keep saying that there is nothing supporting foul play at this point. They're saying, that the parents, and I'm guessing all three parents, have been cooperative. That's important. And he also said very clearly that there's nothing supporting foul play from the parents, clearly. So I don't know, you guys, and I do too, Terry. I wish that would have been cleared up so we would know for a fact that the dogs did not pick up on a scent. You know what I'm saying? Because there was actual audio we heard that came from dispatch, but there were also being told that there wasn't it. So that's why I'm saying it's turned into a circus, guys, and we got to bring it back down to ground level and make the important thing be finding him, period. That's all there is to it. It's been over a month now, 5 weeks in, and there's nothing. There's nothing. I'm hearing things all over the place about this and that and all sorts of things, but there's nothing that supports any of this, unfortunately. So we got to take everything we hear, unless it comes from, this is my opinion and what my strategy is going to be from here on out. We can watch these interviews all we want to and take from the speculation from that we want. That's fine. That's your opinion. Everybody's entitled to that. But as far as anything that is a tip that is being put out or being talked about, I'm not going to take it as credible unless it comes from TBI or Sumner County Sheriff, period. So we now know that Sumner County is on this, TBI is on this, and have been. There's sources from the FBI as well as Secret Service. That's a lot of law enforcement agencies working this case. And if they can't handle this, then nobody can. So, I know it's crazy because it seems so realistic that nobody would have a clue as to what the heck has happened at this point, but they don't. So I just don't know. I don't understand it myself. I don't know how a 15-year-old boy could walk out of his home and just disappear without a trace, you guys. I mean, it doesn't sound realistic, but it's obviously happened. And again, this is an autistic child. Um and he's been without his medication. He's got other health problems as well. Been without his medication for 5 weeks. That's the thing that scares me. And I feel in my gut it would be very hard for him to survive on his own out there in the elements without stuff like that. You know what I mean? Thank you, 12 gauge, and thank you for joining us today. um, I agree, Sarah. It's been in a lot of our minds. Um, Salty says, you guys need to remember Sebastian will not react the way most kids would react. He will do things much differently. That's fact. And there was a video put out that showed Sebastian's reactions to certain things. And it was interesting to me because we, for the first time, heard his voice and seen some reaction and stuff like that in that video. And it was a different feel after seeing and hearing that than what I was expecting. Stating that he's very high maintenance and things like, or not maintenance, very high functioning. Well, I'm starting to question now at this point now if how high functioning he really is. So I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the phone lines. Um, so we can talk a little bit about this. And hold on a minute here. 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Bear with me. I had a couple technical issues for a second there. My apologies. YouTube is just weird today. I don't know what's going on with it. Okay. Welcome, War Eagle. Thank you for joining us today. Opinionated as well. Thank you for being here. Copy that. Boom. Yes, Secret Service was brought in for digital forensics, phones and cameras and stuff like that, which is good. They're the best of the best. So, in my opinion, at least as far as it comes to that. All right, so we're gonna pin that link up top there in the chat, and then I'm gonna open up the phone lines as well. And boom. Let me check that. Make sure it's working. I think we're good to go. Phone lines are open. We found information on a children's clinic who shared hid missing information. States Sebastian has a hard time sleeping and would hide and fall asleep. I heard something about that too. Thank you, Salty. That's interesting. Like I said, he I don't think he was as high functioning as it was claimed that he was. He's got a lot more going on than what my son did. That I know for a fact now. So that makes things different, guys. He's not going to react the way that we would think he would. Thank you for that info, Salty. That's very, very good to know because that helps to understand him better as a child. This case is rough, you guys. It's played hell on my mind, my heart, and it has on a lot of people. It really has. But we still, one way or another, this child needs to come home for in whatever shape or form it needs to happen. That's just how I feel on this. Strange, nothing regards the urgency of finding him from that. It was definitely a dull press conference. I'll say that much. There wasn't a lot. They don't have anything new. Um, so I don't know how to take it. But I can agree in some senses, Pamela, with you on that. Right. Yeah. He seems a lot less functionable than my son. That's true to me. I mean, I don't know opinionated that's interesting. With no food, no water, the maximum time the body can survive is thought to be 1 week. Yeah, and that's a normal person too, 12 gauge. That's the difference. He has other medical problems and other health problems that are underlying and they're to be seen as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I think it was too, Salty, was just to pacify the public and calm down social media possibly, but it's not gonna happen. Um, I don't know. So guys, the number's up on the screen, 234-703-4047. Should you choose to give a call, speak your mind, talk about this, I'd love to hear from you. The phone lines are open. We can do this. So whenever you're ready, I'm ready. And I do have the link pinned in chat. If anybody would choose to jump up here with me, you are welcome to. And here we are with that. That's kind of what I'm saying too, Jody. He's not as functionable as I had first expected based on what I've heard from other sources. And Irene, welcome. And yes, definitely seems to be medically fragile.
Call from Carrie.
Hey,
To accept,
Carrie.
press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hey, Carrie, what's happening?
Hi. I just have a couple quick questions. My question is, first of all, hold on one second. Because is there like a, can you hear me still?
Yeah, I hear you. You sound good.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a whatever space or, anyway, so JLR said that he has a theory that bed was in the garage because that's where he would be punished and have to sleep out in the garage on that bed. What are your thoughts?
I don't think so. I heard that as well. No, I just don't. I can't go with that because it just that's just ridiculous to me. Like, that's what kind of a punishment is that? You know what I mean? That doesn't. I mean, it could be, but I'm not going to go with that at this point because that just seems a little extreme. And I don't think it has gotten cold enough in Tennessee to cause that to be a problem anyway. Even if say, for instance, that was the fact, okay, and they did that, I don't think the temperature's been cold enough that it would cause something like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he is more fragile medically. I get that, but I don't know. I can't imagine that being the scenario. I mean, if it is, then wow, of course. But I don't know. And from my understanding, that bed came to them as somebody gave them that big bed in the garage, and that was after it was seen being brought in after the fact of him going missing. So I'm not sure. Hold on, I think somebody. Yeah, Jesse just said that too. I think that the bed came in after he went missing. The Salty saying, I've read the document stating the extent of Sebastian's problems. I will try to put together the info if you can do it without putting out more than public needs, but it will help. Yeah, of course, absolutely. Thank you, Salty.
Okay.
But yeah, I just don't know, Terry. I don't know if I can go with that. I mean, it's a theory, first off. So, and there's a lot of those out there. But go ahead.
The other thing, the shoes. Seth said that all shoes, just like at Katie's house, at his house and Katie's, all shoes stay in, when they walk in, they take their shoes off at the front door.
Yeah.
So didn't she say that she was on the phone on the couch? She wasn't in bed?
Yeah. Yeah. And then she she dozed off and then she woke up at a specific time and then she went to bed. Right.
Right. I just wonder if that might be a reason he didn't have shoes on, if he did run or was lured or whatever.
Could be. That's
Yeah.
the only way to know these things, unfortunately, would have, is if we were a fly on the wall in the house that night, we could answer all these questions because there's so many questions. I have a lot. I still question, and I'll be honest with you. I think Salty threw that in the chat a little bit ago. I still question if is one of my big questions is Katie on camera coming home that night from the dinner and the bowling alley and all that? Did they show her on anybody's camera coming home to that house at a specific time? I've questioned that from the beginning myself. So, and they've never come
Did
out.
he take the trash? Didn't he get, it was on a video that he took the trash, so wouldn't that have been after they got home?
I'm imagining, yeah, but I'm not. That doesn't we know what we were told about the table of events that happened, the timeline that night. Okay, that's what we were told, and I'm not saying that that's not true. What I'm saying is maybe it was in a different order with different people. It could possibly be because unless they show all of that on some kind of video or something like that, there's really no true proof of that. So at that point, you question those things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that what we've been told isn't true, but I do question all that. That's all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I just had a couple of quick. Those, one is, did you see? I mean, they're saying he had a handprint bruise, like somebody grabbed him on, the neck.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's an actual bruise or a shadow?
Well, it was a black and white photo that I looked at, and I tried to colorize it and filter it and so on and so forth, and it's hard to tell. It looks like it could be shadowing from the lighting. Because there's a couple different pictures I saw. It's very hard to tell. Very hard to tell. So, I don't know. It's a good question. It is a very good question, though.
Thanks. Yeah, and the last one is, I just can't imagine he wouldn't tell if he didn't want to go home. I can't imagine it, except if he's a great father, which he seems to be. But I mean, I'm not there. But why would you not? You would want to know. Why do you not want to go there? You need to tell me. Why do you not want to go home?
I agree with that, and I stated that when I first heard that, when he brought that out, and he said, it was the time before the last time I took him home. He said, I don't want to go back there, and this and that and everything else. And here, as a parent, okay, they could have had a fun weekend together, and that household to me is a stricter household than what Seth's is. It's not a bad thing. Some parents are like that.
Sure.
When me and my ex separated, she didn't have as many rules as I did, because she wanted to be the more friendly parent to get them to like her more. That was just her way, and that whatever. I had my rules, and my rules stayed the way they were because you have to keep routine with kids. Period. So, he could have just said that because at some point the last time he was there, he got in trouble for some things. I don't know. But there could have actually been something going on there. And I agree that, as a parent, me myself, I would have questioned that. I'm not saying that he did something wrong. I'm just saying I would have looked into that a little bit more. Like, why? Why is this being said to me? Because that's an interesting allegation for a child, but children say things like that on a regular basis now. And we have to understand that Sebastian's mentality is that of a lot younger child, not a 15-year-old. So again, when like I said, I went through this with my kids. They would come to me for the weekend before I got custody of them, and they were like, I don't want to go back because mom does this and doesn't do that and blah blah blah. And then they go to her house and tell her they don't want to come back to my house because of this, that, which she would question. And I'm like, no, you're out buying them things. They want you to continue buying them stuff. Kids are manipulative, whether they believe it or not, and they can be that way in some senses. Now, that being said, That doesn't mean that there is no truth to the fact that there was something that he didn't like about being at that home. I'm just saying you can look at it on both sides without the proof or the burden of proof to say that there was something going on. We can't just make that judgment without knowing. Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree. Yeah. I won't keep you, but I mean, those are just some of the questions I'm sure other people will ask.
Everybody has these same questions. I agree, and I have them myself. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Okay. I'll listen to others.
Yeah.
Thanks, Terry, and have a great day. Thank you, Terry, for calling in. I appreciate that. Those of us with kids and an ex know the drama that can be at play, making it about them and not the kids. 100%. 100%. It's happened. It's happened multiple times. You know, my ex would go and buy all the super expensive things that they would ask for. Well, she's only taking care of those couple children for the holidays. I have 7 children I'm buying for, so I can't go buy these super stupid expensive things for each child. Okay. And the thing is it happens, guys. In every relationship, there's always gonna be, like I said, they may not think they're being manipulated, but they do manipulate the parents to get their ways because I did it. I came from a divorced family. It is what it is. It's not a bad thing, you know. It doesn't mean that that's a bad child or a bad parent. It just means that this is what happens in these relationships. It's just a normal thing. Now, um, again, that doesn't mean because we don't know that there wasn't something that he thought was not right to him that wasn't going on maybe. Okay, I don't know, you know. Until we can see some proof of that, we really can't say anything other than, you know, the speculation that we do about certain things. Now this is a big thing for me, guys, that I've had. We all need to come to terms with this, okay? It's very possible that this child walked out of that house, whether it be in shoes or no shoes, whatever it was. We need to accept that it could have happened. And as I've stated the last couple of times I talked about it, it bothers me to say this, but it's very possible that somebody he could have walked out of that house and started walking. And if it's in the middle of the night, there's bad people everywhere, guys. Bad people everywhere. They see this child and he's a key target. Boom. Somebody snatches him. That's the end of it. That's all we see. Or, you know, we don't see anything. We don't know anything because that was what was done. And it's very simple because it was the middle of the night that he could have been grabbed by somebody and not be seen anywhere. As hard as it is to believe that, it's true. It could be very true. And that may just be the outcome of this, sadly. I hope that it's not. And I hope by some miracle or, you know, by the grace of God that this child comes walking in some door somewhere and here I am. That would be amazing. But we do have to think realistic at the same time, unfortunately. You know, it's a hard thing to take, but very easy to believe because it does happen every day now, guys. And as we'll be getting into more, you know, I've been screaming about the child trafficking stuff that goes on. It happens every day, all day, everywhere we look. We're going to be getting more delving a little deeper into that with some stories that we're going to be coming up with here soon about the realistic side of that and how often and how hard it is and how hardcore it happens. It's bad. So that's coming down the road too. Very quickly here, hopefully, if things work out for me the way I'm wanting them to. So, you know, crime is crime, and this is crime. It does happen, whether we want to believe it or not. It's real, folks. Take care, Jen. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you very much. Absolutely. Very much appreciated. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Be careful and be safe out there. So, you know, at this point, that's where we're at. We have to, it can't always be a nefarious scenario. It can't always be this person did something wrong or that person did something wrong or this one is bad or that one's bad. Sometimes, guys, you know, the most simplest situation or the most simple possibility is the answer sometimes, as hard as that is to take sometimes for people, but it's true, you know. Um so unfortunately, those are the sad truths at times. Seth said he saw neighbor's camera. It was so dark, but he believes it was Sebastian taking out the trash because of his quirks. Right. That's true. That was true. Thank you. Um, thank you, Brandy, for that. And thank you all for checking out that TikTok and liking it. I appreciate that very much. And that's true too, most of the time, as well as sometimes crimes of opportunity happen. Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot more than we think too, guys. It's very sad, but it does happen. Interesting glasses were recently found. I hope if the glasses are similar to Sebastian's, that they can somehow do a DNA test on the glasses term. I'm sure that there'll be a way for them to differentiate whether they're his for sure or somebody else's CZ, but yeah, hopefully. Um, that could happen. Could have happened too. He could have ran out of the house. And autistic kids, when they are out and around, they get scared. Could have walked up to someone on the street. That's very possible too. Something else that needs to be thought of is that he could have walked out of the house and then, in an uproar or whatever, and then realized what he did and got scared, and then went to somebody to say, "Hey, I'm lost. I'm scared. I'm whatever. Help me." And it wasn't a good person, and they took that, as SRB said, crimes of opportunity, that opportunity to snatch that child, and that was it. So, no, Moonlit, they didn't say where the glasses were found, so therefore, we can't tell that for sure. I wish that would have been said because it would have, made that easier to deal with, but um, unfortunately, they did not. Thank you, Eagle, for that. Hello, Shelly. Good to see you today. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you very much. And again, guys, the phone lines are open. The phone number is scrolling across the bottom 234-703-4047. Should you want to call in, express an opinion, some thoughts, have any questions, let's talk about it, guys. That's what it's there for. So let's do it. Give me a call should you choose. That's another thing too. Just because he isn't a runner doesn't mean that he won't run, guys. There's a first time for everything. This child is getting older and his mind is getting older finally. It may not be the mind of a 15-year-old, but it's catching up slowly. So he's still growing mentally and physically. So his mind is changing all the time. And plus all of the things that are going on to begin with. Something could have caught his interest, caught his attention. Something could have scared him. Something could have anything, guys, and he could have walked out the door. And it could have been something that he realized after the fact and he couldn't get back in. And he was afraid to knock on the door or something and went to try to get help and somebody grabbed him. And that's what I'm really feeling may have happened with this. The more I look at this, the more I think about this, the things I've heard, like it's very possible that this did happen like this. There were 2 registered SOs in that neighborhood, very close. One that was registered because of um his attraction to children. And I'm not saying he did anything, but I'm not saying that he couldn't have done anything because he's right there, very close. The other one was different charges, but still registered SO. So these are other things, and that's not to mention that anybody could come into that area in a vehicle out of nowhere and just boom. It could have just been an opportunity that happened out of, I hate to say this, but it was just that situation happened upon, and there it is. So, and that's the thing is logic has to take part in this, guys. It's got to be a big part of this. We I've noticed with a lot of cases that there's been a lot of illogical stuff put out, stuff that just doesn't make sense because the case doesn't make sense. So people are putting things out there and saying, well, it's got to be this. Well, why? Because we can't figure something else out. That doesn't mean that it has to be that. You know what I mean? So we have to look at it that way. That's all. Um, and that's another thing too. Which doesn't mean Katie was being completely forthright on her story, but it also doesn't mean she's guilty of a crime. Facts, guys. And it could go any direction, folks. People lie. People don't lie. There's things that happen that, we can definitely count on happening in some senses, but at the same time, it doesn't always mean that's what it is, you know? Um, it was a decent bit of a walk, I'd say, Jody, a few miles for sure. Good morning, Southern Style. Thank you for joining us. There was talk of a vehicle being seen in the neighborhood in the middle of the night. Um, I do not know that if Ellie asked some neighbors if they had ordered an Uber. I was told that through another interview that I watched. Is it true? I've never heard Ellie say it, so I can't say that. Um, there is Seth has a GoFundMe page. His biological father, does have a GoFundMe, Thomas. Um, let's see, SRD thumbs up, or probably meant SRB. And his eye doctor place can let them know if those glasses are his or not. They should be able to do that, I would think. I would think. Um, that's another good point too. If he was, but then again, we have to understand this is not just a normal 15-year-old kid. A typical 15-year-old child probably would put shoes on, pack a backpack, grab some things that they would need, including their own phone, if they were going to run away. That would be a normal reaction, I would say, Kim. But at the same time, he's not a normal child. He's got some issues that normal children don't have. Okay. So I don't know, about that. We can't say that. Let's see. Ellie saying the dog's pick no scent up at all leaving the home. And that's the way it's coming. You know what I mean? Not as of right now, SRB. Thank you though. Let's see here. Yes. Welcome, Teresa. Yes, Seth. Sorry. His sister started the GoFundMe. Um, that's another good. Yeah, there's no street sense there. He's not streetwise at all. I absolutely. And that's why I feel like this very well. I like the way that the SRB worded that, a crime of opportunity, because that would be what it was. He just so happened to walk out of the home and start walking a certain direction at the wrong time, and the wrong person came about him and could have very well picked him up, and that is why nobody has seen nor heard anything. I feel like if this child went forth and left his home, he would have been seen within a couple of hours by somebody, based on his reactions, just in general, the way he walks and talks and acts and things like that. I think he would have been noticed by multiple people. Somebody would have either stopped him, talked to him, figured out what was going on with him, and then went from there. But that never happened. So, and he wasn't seen on any type of video cameras or anything like that. Which is strange. It is very similar to the Summer Wells scenario, which is weird to me. It definitely caught my attention with that. Because there's just no generalized answer to where is he, and there's nothing that points to anything to give an answer to where he is. Do you know what I mean? That's the hard part with this, and why it makes it such a weird case. Um, that's fact. So again, guys, 234-703-4047. Give me a call. Let's talk about it. There's plenty to talk about and plenty to say, that's for sure. The phone lines are open and running, so whenever you feel like it, please. Let's see here. Yeah, and if as a runaway, if that's with his mentality and his age, the way his mind was working, he probably would have grabbed some toys or a game system or something like that, but he didn't touch any of that stuff. I agree, Nana. I definitely agree. All right, let me pull up this here, guys. take a look at real quick. Let me see something here. All right, this is just a couple MSM updates and stuff like that for you guys to check out too. I agree, Doodle. It does. It worries me too. The whole pond scenario that bugs me a lot, honestly.
New at 5, a search party made up of community members will meet every day going forward to search for a Nashville teen who has autism. They are handing out flyers for people to be on the lookout for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. He vanished from his home in Sumner County last month. Dryden Quigley has the story.
Karen Strom has been involved since the day she heard he went missing.
I think every mom is looking at his face and seeing their own child, and they can't imagine sitting still. So we didn't sit still.
She's been knocking on doors, searching public places, and checking her yard twice a day. She says she knows it's making a difference.
There are people that we still come across that don't know who Sebastian is. And that is exactly why we need more people. We need people to share.
This comes after the United Cajun Navy stopped their search because they say their volunteers were receiving death threats. But this group says they're undeterred.
There's people that lurk and they stare, but we've not had any indication of any kind of threat ourselves.
And they aren't alone. The Uvalde Foundation for Kids has said they are sending an additional 18 volunteers to help. They said threats are not tolerated and will not stop the search.
Having a couple handfuls of people is a lot better than having nothing. And so every person that shows up is going to help.
That search resumed this morning at 9:30 in Hendersonville.
And that's good to know that these people aren't being deterred for stuff like that. Yeah, that was debunked, Terry. No problem, Tracy. Take your time. Let's see here. One moment, guys. One moment. Now, this was. Hold on here a minute. Hold on, everyone. I'm sorry. Having a bit of an issue here. 1 second. Bear with me, guys. I got something froze here. Hold on. Still here. Sorry. I don't know why this froze. Give me a second here. I'm working it through. It's irritating to me. Hmm. What is the deal with this? Come on. Hmm. Okay. Hopefully, let's see here. Hopefully that works. Sorry, guys. Thank you for your patience. My apologies. It just froze right up. Okay. Oh, I see what happened there. Oh, nope. Maybe that'll work now. Okay. Hold on. Boom. Okay. All right, guys. Also wanted to throw out a couple updates on the Caleb Harris situation to keep you guys informed because we're covering that as well. Yeah. Talk about Chris being a hypocrite. He keeps saying the kids need punishment to learn. Obviously, well, I mean, yeah, Terry, that's a good way to put that. I don't know. Um, it's hard to know because we don't know what has gone on privately. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? So we got to remember that too. So, I do want to give you guys the update on this here real quick, if you don't mind. Um, and one second here. There's a couple little on this one because this is another one that's been baffling to me as well. Um, but I'm gonna give you guys an update on this too, and I'm gonna go back into some more Sebastian stuff. But I wanted to put this up while I could, while everybody was still in here as well. I got you, Tracy. Mine's doing some stuff too. I think it's because of the wind and stuff outside because we're about to get a bad storm. So just bear with me, guys. If we have any issues, I'll make sure I cover it. Again, guys, this is an update on Caleb Harris. We're kind of bouncing back and forth between some stuff just to make sure I get it all through and out there for you guys.
Week will mark 1 month since the disappearance of Caleb Harris. Tonight, his family has doubled the reward for any information leading to his safe return. Harris is a New Braunfels native who is attending school at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. He disappeared without a trace from his off-campus apartment on March 4th. Authorities recently expanded their search for Caleb to the San Antonio and New Braunfels areas, but there have been no new leads. His family is now offering $50,000 for information that leads to Caleb. A tip line has been set up at the number on your screen, 361-826-2950.
Okay, so they've doubled the reward on that one. And again, I don't understand these cases, you guys. It's crazy. Um, let me see here. Hold on a minute. Where'd it go?
sharing an update on their continued efforts on the search for missing A&M Corpus Christi student Caleb Harris, the 21-year-old vanishing seemingly without a trace the early hours of March 4th.
Now, since then, countless hours and resources have gone into finding Caleb, both from law enforcement and volunteers. And now police are giving an official timeline of events that led up to his disappearance.
Our Bill Churchwell also sitting down for a one-on-one interview with Assistant Chief Todd Green this afternoon. So, Bill, what were you able to discuss with police tonight?
And police, they want the community to know they are still very active in this investigation. Chief Green telling me that most of it now is behind the scenes work, looking at digital data, computer examinations, things of that nature. And while social media can be a great tool for tips and information, it can be a double-edged sword. Here's part of that interview. I spoke with Caleb's dad by phone. He told me that he was 100% confident in CCPD and what you're doing to find his son. One thing that did concern him was all of the social media chatter out there, the disinformation that folks might be spreading, the allegations that folks might be spreading.
Unfortunately, we can't tell the public everything that we know in this investigation. It just doesn't work that way. We're not able to be completely transparent and share everything that we know. But we can very confidently say we have ruled out the roommates as having anything to do with this disappearance. His friends that he was communicating with that night over social media, we've ruled them out. We've ruled out the Uber driver that made the delivery. We have investigated very thoroughly all of those individuals. We wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't look at that possibility.
Just part of that interview there. And you might recall the family is offering a $25,000 reward for information that leads to finding their son. There is a tip line, that number 361-826-2950. It goes directly to police. The deadline to call in tips is March 31st. Now, police followed up so far on 14 Crime Stopper tips, 31 tip line calls, and several others from various sources. I am working overtime on this story tonight, and I'll have my full report coming up on 3 News at 10. Back to you.
All right. And again, there just isn't a lot on this case. The timeline for Caleb Harris is a little strange too. I mean, I don't understand what's going on nowadays. Welcome, Noni. Good to see you. I hope you had a wonderful Easter, and it's wonderful to have you back. And yes, the reward is up to 50,000 now. They've doubled that, so that's awesome. Unfortunately, slow Southern style. There has been nothing new from the press conference other than the fact that they did find a pair of glasses, but they don't know that they belong to him. So, oh, I'm so sorry for that, Melanie. That's horrible. I'm so sorry to hear that. My apologies. Right, another one that just disappeared. It doesn't make sense, you guys. None of this makes sense to me. The way these things are happening is crazy.
Since a college student from New Braunfels was last seen. 21-year-old Caleb Harris mysteriously vanished at his off-campus apartment complex in Corpus Christi. Local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies are assisting in the search for Caleb. This week, authorities provided a detailed timeline about his disappearance. Leslie Adamy breaks it down for us.
On the evening of Sunday, March 3rd, Caleb spent time at the apartment with roommates and a friend. 12:56 a.m. Monday, March 4th, doorbell cam shows Caleb, a friend, and one of his roommates in the parking lot of his complex. 2:20 a.m., a second roommate says he's going to bed. Caleb stays up to order Uber Eats. 2:44 a.m., Caleb sends a Snapchat video to his younger sister of him walking a dog in the complex parking lot. At 3:03 a.m., Caleb sends a Snapchat photo to a high school friend who lives in San Antonio. That picture showed a small bridge over a drainage ditch within a few hundred feet of the entrance to his apartment complex. At 3:12 a.m. is when Caleb's cell phone last shared its location information with the nearest phone tower. 3:20 a.m. The Uber Eats driver delivers Caleb's order to his apartment, leaving it at the front door. At 11 a.m. Monday morning, one of Caleb's roommates finds the delivery order, his wallet and keys in the apartment, his cell phone gone. Caleb's roommates report him missing. Corpus Christi police say this is the best timeline they've been able to compile with what's available to them, but as the investigation evolves, it is subject to change.
So there again, guys, is another crazy timeline, and it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. People are just disappearing. Poof, they're gone. It makes no sense to me. Again, this kid was barefoot and he had his phone, but he left everything else in the house. He ordered food. They woke up the next day and the food was still sitting there. So he somewhere in that time period where he's walking his dog, something happened, but the dog was brought back in the house and then he disappears. That's so weird. I sent you an email about the missing Missouri. Yes. Oh, of course I would. Okay, let me check that. Make sure I got it because sometimes my emails don't always. I don't see them. There's so many of them. Give me a second here, folks. Let's see here. Hold on. You might have to resend it because my emails were full and some of them may have been deleted on accident. Let me see here. There's a thing in here where it cleans it up and then some things just get dumped accidentally and they're not supposed to be. Let me see something here. Also got that, and I didn't see I had that. See, some of these I didn't even know I had. I wasn't in my computer at all on Sunday until later in the afternoon because of another issue, but I didn't look at anything. So please excuse that. I wasn't ignoring it. It was just so busy. One second here.
Had the two of you.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that now. Got you. If you can send that back to me again, Moonlit, please. I'm so sorry for that. I can't find it. T Moonted. Okay. Yeah, I agree, Kate. I do agree. Thank you, Moonlit, so much. Thank you, War Eagle, for that as well. Appreciate that very much. And thank you to anybody that has donated to help this channel. I appreciate that very much, guys. Please know that. Oh, come on. Work with me here. There we go. Okay, let me move that over. I'll tell you what, guys, if you're not real good with a computer and you do this, it will get you there soon. I had 25,000 emails in here. And I haven't been able to get to them all. And it just overloaded. Completely overloaded. What do I think is going on, Steve? It's hard to tell. Like I said, I've been watching this. Okay, I'll hold on. Let that roll through. It should be here anytime. Moonlit, thank you. I've been, pretty hard with this case, you guys, going hard with it. And at this point, I can't really say anything other than, I mean, it looks to me like he may have wandered out of his home, walked out of his home, And I really feel that that's what happened and he got picked up. I don't see anything else that gives me any proof of anything else. You see what I'm saying? That's the hard part with this. Now I've had questions about different things, and it's just speculation in my mind. Um, about, did he make it home? Did he do this? Did he do that? All that kind of stuff. Did she make it home at a certain time? And how did this actually happen and that happen? And that's the problem because there's no proof for me to base any of that on, so I can't really make that statement. Do you know what I'm saying? But it just, I have to go logic, guys. I have to stick with logic, and the logic says so far that he walked out of his house and sadly somebody may have picked him up. Um, right. That's exactly it right there, Paula. That's, we have to be logical, you guys. If we want to be helpful, we have to be logical, I should say. Even though Katie and Chris seem suspicious, they seem to have zero evidence pointing to them, and law enforcement keeps telling us that. In fact, he stressed that when he was saying that in the presser today. He said um, that there is absolutely zero evidence showing that there could have been any foul play with any of the parents involved. Well, damn. Okay. You know what I mean? Now, that's as of now. They don't have anything as of yet. So, therefore, we have to think logically and go, okay, well, now what? Okay. Oh, there it is. I found it. Bingo. Thank you, Moonlit. But at that point, it's like, what makes sense? Nothing. So, okay, so he went to bed. And I have issues with those things too. With the whole, uh, she heard a thud. She didn't get up, check on it, this and that, and then they go to sleep. She wakes up and he's not there. Okay, he left. That's all it leaves us to believe, that he left. If someone picked him up, wouldn't they have picked him up at the end of his driveway? Since not necessarily, not necessarily. There could be a reason why there was no scent. I don't know, Paula, but there's got to be something logical that explains that. That's the only thing I can think of. Um, that makes any sense. So i- I'm at a loss of words for this, guys. I just don't understand it anymore. I don't. And it's stressful. It's very stressful. I'm going to throw this in here real quick. This is another one that has been missing, and it's kind of there's so many of them out there, but this is kind of sad because this lady has had no help from anybody, in my opinion. So I'm gonna throw this out there for you guys real quick to watch, and it kind of seems like it could be Steve, in that sense too. But this could just be very well simply, like SRB put it, a crime of opportunity at that point. That's very possible too in some senses, Tanya. I can agree with that. Absolutely. Nothing's off the table at that point, so we just don't know. All right, hold on, guys.
Is searching for her grandson, who appears to have vanished in the Kansas City area. Fox 2's Kelly Hoskins has more on the search for 19-year-old T. Montez Hurt.
Just help me bring my grandson home safe. A St. Louis grandmother is asking for the public's help in locating her 19-year-old grandson, T. Montez Hurt, who's been missing since February the 1st. He was last seen in the area of 12th Street in Kansas City wearing a royal blue polo shirt and green pants. Police went to his location and an ambulance took him to a hospital for evaluation. He was discharged days later, and the hospital called him a taxi to a Greyhound station so he could return to St. Louis. His grandmother says surveillance video shows him at the Kansas City Greyhound bus station, but he did not get on the bus.
Viewing the tape, she showed me where Montez gets out, checking the doors. The Greyhound is closed. He goes back around to get back in the Z-Trip. Z-Trip never lets him in.
His family is concerned for his safety.
I don't know what's going on. I just know that I was talking to Tamontes. Tamontes was in distress. They put him in a Z trip. I haven't seen my grandson since.
We are told Hurt was a freshman at Missouri Western University last fall, but did not return this spring. His family raised enough money for his tuition to return next semester. His grandmother says he told her he believes someone may have drugged him.
After he gets in the Z trip, I never speak to him again.
She's hoping to get national attention on her missing grandson in light of the exposure of Riley's strain received during the search earlier this month.
My heart does go out to the Riley family, but Montez been missing since February the 1st. I got not one piece of help from the police at all or any type of assistance from Kansas City community. I haven't lost hope. I feel like Tamontez is alive.
Anyone with information regarding Hurt's whereabouts can contact police. Reporting in St. Louis, Kelly Hoskins, Fox 2 News.
Are you feeling buried by the high cost of home repairs?
That's sad. That's just wrong. I feel horrible for her. And another college kid. I'm going to see if I can get in touch with her because that's just wrong. Give me a moment. Thank you for that, Moonlit. You know, he is 19, but he's still a person, guys, you know. Hold on here. That's horrific. I can't help but to I feel so bad for these families. It's just it's not right. It's not right at all. I think these families don't get, you know, thank you, Nana, very much. Let me see something here. We have the opportunity to do this stuff, so definitely should do what we can when we can. I wonder. That might be it right there. Bingo. April 6th at 2 p.m. They're still searching for him. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so this is his missing poster. Kansas City. I get it, Kim. But I mean, honestly, I can't blame them because if they don't have anything, I'm sure they're trying to keep the rumors down and stuff like that. That's probably why they seemed maybe not as engaged. Okay, I get it though. Thank you, Doodle, very much. I appreciate that, and thank you to anybody that has donated to that to support me and the channel itself. It does definitely helps me to pay the bills, guys. Um, that's true as well, Terry. Very true. Hmm. Let me see something here, guys. Yeah, I know. That's strange too, isn't it? Um, the hospital released him against grandmother's wishes, put him in a taxi to go to the Greyhound station. The bus station was closed, and when he tried to get back into the taxi, where his phone was the driver, right? That's good point. That's definitely a good point. Not cool at all. See, these things they shouldn't happen like this. And these things happening like this is what's causing these problems. And at the same point, he states that he thinks somebody drugged him. So that was not good at all. Give me a second. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, wonderful. So I just spoke with I'm sorry guys, I didn't mean to mute you that long, but I didn't want to do that live. I spoke with T Montez's grandmother. She's gonna contact me. She's working right now. When she gets off work and she's agreed to do an interview with me to do a story on this to possibly get the word out that way, and we can just roll it from there, and maybe other creators can pick it up and keep going with it as well. So that's one positive thing. Thank you, Moonlit. Like I said, if I get the info and the right tools to do these things, I have no problem doing stuff like that. Absolutely. Um, so thank you, Moonlit. That's awesome. That is absolutely wonderful. That's what this is for, you guys. So, um, 100% Kim. I can agree with that for sure. Absolutely for sure. Absolutely, Paula. No thanks needed. I appreciate you all being here to be able to spread the word once we do this as well. So, She's going to contact me after she gets off work, and we can sit down and set something up to do an interview. So that would be amazing. And hopefully, us doing that can see other people picking it up, so on and so forth, and we can move forward and get the word out there. We need to do that more often, you guys. Like I said, if I get the info, I have no problem doing that. What it's all about. So that is the information there. We need to get some flyers put up too, for sure. So I can probably print that off of there. To anybody that is in the Kansas City area, that'll definitely help. So, all right, guys, let me bring this part down. And that's as easy. That's how easy it is. Just got to make contact. Best way we can. All right. That feels good. It's good to know we're doing something out here. So, again, guys, the phone lines are still open. 234-703-4047. If anybody has anything, there's Victoria. Welcome. Good to see you, dear. If anybody has any questions, thoughts, theories, opinions, feelings about Sebastian's scenario, Caleb Harris, anything, guys, let's talk about it, please. One other thing I wanted to look at real quick too, because I know there's nothing new on it and it really bugs me. This is the newest thing I could find. This one breaks my heart too. It really does. So I'm sure you guys remember poor little 3-year-old Elijah Vu that went missing. It's been quite a while now. I've been following it, behind the scenes because there's hoping to see something new, and there hasn't been anything. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Victoria. I hope you're okay. Thank you, Brandy. That's exactly what I was going to say. So this is the only update that I can find on Elijah Vu. You guys, there's nothing really, nothing. It's sad. But here we go.
Two Rivers police say they spent last week searching the Shoto area for Elijah Vu with the help of the Department of Natural Resources. That area is just west of the town of Two Rivers where Vu was first reported missing. Today, police say they used 70 teams of drone operators, primarily from police and sheriff's departments from across the state, to conduct a large search operation for the young child. Police, along with the Two Rivers Fire Department and the State Department of Justice, checked what they say are areas of interest. Vu was reported missing on February 20th.
It's day 39 in the search for Elijah Vu, and volunteers are still looking for anything that can help them find the missing 3-year-old. I'm Noah Cornelius reporting in Manitowoc, and I went out with a search group that is still holding out hope. It's been 39 days since Elijah Vu was reported missing.
That's actually something I had stated a while back, Tracy, because she said he was good for doing that. And that's why I said maybe that's how he got out of the house and around these cameras without being seen. 100%. I thought that a while back. So that's a good point there, Tracy. Very good point.
Mother, Katrina Bauer, and her boyfriend, Jesse Vang, are behind bars on child neglect charges. But those involved in the search say they are struggling to make progress. This hasn't stopped Augusta mother Tara Michaels and her husband Tom from driving 4 hours to participate in their third search session in Manitowoc.
Being 4 hours away is nothing. I would drive even further if need be. If people needed me to be there, I would be there.
During the week, the Two Rivers Police Department facilitated a large drone search with help from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, local farmers, and local agricultural businesses. But like many other investigations across the state, came up empty-handed, causing more and more to lose hope. Michaels is aware that volunteer numbers are dropping as the search continues, but she knows there is still work to be done.
I'm not going to lose hope. We still need to bring him home. Elijah's still out there. We don't know for sure where he's at. We still need to bring the sweet little boy home.
And that all it takes to get involved isn't search and rescue experience, but compassion for those who need it.
Getting to meet the family members and seeing the love that they have, and they're still optimistic and
I
they're
think he
still
does
looking
follow.
for that hope of, we're going to bring little Elijah home. It gives you the strength.
Authorities are encouraging the public to turn over any information they might have that could lead them to finding Elijah. You can also submit a tip at our website, NBC26.com. In Manitowoc, Noah Cornelius, NBC26.
That's it, guys. Like, there's nothing. So this Jesse Vane guy, he just needs to start talking. He needs to tell people the truth. Where is this child so that he can be brought home? I mean, period. That's all there is to it. It's enough is enough. It's old. I'm tired of this. I do need to ask a favor of you guys. I'm going to be bringing it, hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody cross your fingers, but I'm going to be bringing a pretty big story to you guys that I'm working on, along with Doodlebug. She's helped me put this together. And another person out there that we really need to get this out there. And it goes it's advocating against child trafficking, guys. And it's something that we've been trying to work on for a while now. So, we haven't had a lot of the time because of Sebastian and these other cases going on, and, getting together with the other people involved. So I'm going to ask that you guys are all available to tune in for this because this one is going to need to be heard and seen and spread all over the place. So if you can, that would definitely be helpful. It would really be helpful. You'll know about it ahead of time. I promise you. But it's important. It's very important, and it's going to shine the light on some really bad things that have happened. So I'm telling you, it's a big one, folks. She's right. You're not going to want to miss this. So I would appreciate everybody tuning in for this. You'll know all about it as I put it out there. I got to get two ends to meet on this for this to work. That's all. But I've been working on it for a minute, guys. It's okay, guys. Guys. It's okay, Doodle. No worries. You got to be careful, Victoria, too, because I hope they get it fixed soon. That's crazy. And that's it right there, folks. I've been telling you this for months now. We have to be the ones to change this. And this is what this is all about. That's why this story that I'm working on, I'm trying to get it out there. So thank you, Kate. And for all of you guys, if you can share that picture, T. Montez, until that would help. Everybody was going to help. And I'm trying to get, once I get together with his grandmother, I will bring that story to you as well in that sense. I guess nobody else wants to call in for today. That's okay. And nobody wants to join me up here. I get that too. No worries. That's all right. I'm appalled at the child trafficking that occurs in this country and the powers that be and MSM. Just 100%. I do agree with you on that, Paula. And that's why I appreciate all the support you guys give for this. Maybe Sebastian was in the car when Katie left in the morning to go look for him, and she handed him off to someone else. A lot of people have said that, Tim. There's no proof of that, so we just got to kind of hope that that's not the case. But it's very possible. Anything is possible. You know what I mean? That's why I said nothing has been taken off the table. It's a good point, though, Tim. I appreciate your input. I really do. But that's the point. Like, I would hope and that it would be caught on camera. Do you know what I'm saying? Definitely. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. So, I am going to be back on here later this evening for sure. Also, depending on how and what goes on with the other case, his grandmother, I will definitely be bringing that to you guys as well. Does anybody have any input, questions, thoughts, theories? That's about Sebastian. Also, I just got to clarify something. I was going to show you guys this as well. Welcome, Annie Ruler. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Give me one moment here. Give me one moment, guys. I did want to show you guys something that dropped a few days ago. I wasn't really able to follow up with it when I wanted to, but it is newer. It's going to have some of the same stuff in it, but some different stuff. And this is just to keep you guys up to date on what's going on in the Madeline Soto case. Like I said, I'm still following everything that we're covering. There's just a lot to everything. And there's nothing other than what we've shown and talked about today so far about Sebastian, unfortunately. But this is a newer thing, and you guys know I love Court TV, and they put together some pretty good stuff. So I did want to show you guys this on Court TV real quick. No problem. I'm not going anywhere, Doodle. Nowhere at all. I'm here. I'm not taking off yet. I'm gonna show you guys this, and Doodle, you can send me what you got to. We are covering a lot, but it needs done, guys. I'm sorry, and I'm trying to keep everybody together with everything. So just hang with me through all of this, guys. You guys are tough, and you guys make this stuff happen. So welcome back, Misfit. Appreciate you. So here, check this out real quick, and then I will look at that other stuff here in a second.
Who wasn't there was her mother, Jen Soto. She was working. Madeline's mother and father were not together. In fact, her dad married another woman a couple of months after she was born. But there was a man living in her house. Her mom's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns. Stearns was at the birthday party. And at some point after the party and before she was supposed to be at school the following day, Madeline was murdered. Stearns is the prime suspect because he was the last known person to be with her, and he is alleged to have hundreds of disturbing photos on his phone of Madeline being sexually abused. Investigators are putting together a timeline. They have gathered surveillance video from the complex where they lived, tracking Stearns' movements. They also have license plate reader information and eyewitness statements, all connected to Stearns and his car. Tonight, we'll take a look at that evidence and identify what's missing and what it means as we continue our investigation into the tragic life and death of Madeline Soto.
I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. And in this case involving Madeline Soto, looking at all the evidence and what we know at this point, what has been made public at this point, by statements by investigators, statements by Stephen Stearns, Jen Soto, others who were at the house or at the party that day. It's just not clear what was happening. It is not clear what was happening between the time of that party and the time that Madeline was supposed to show up at school. And the more you focus in on that actual morning, based on the timeline that's being established, none of it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Something weird was happening, and is it panic? Is it, I don't know what it is. But what I do know is when you try to put it together in some logical form, some of the actions and things that are time-stamped that we know happened that morning, it still is confusing. And it starts because of Stephen Stearns. I mean, his activities that day, suspicious to say the least. Now, we know he's got problems. We know he's been arrested, not charged with the murder, but a prime suspect in the murder, but puts himself as the last known person to be with the victim in this case. And then we know what was on his phone. Hundreds of images of Madeline being sexually abused and him being the abuser. Those are the allegations against him. So that's obviously suspicious, to say the least about it. But just what he was doing that morning, like, why? Why is he up so early? Why is he driving seemingly in and out of the complex? Where is he going? Where did he go? Where was he leaving? Why was he returning? Why is he at the dumpster? Why is he driving back at 8:19 with Madeline in the car when school starts at 9:30? None of this makes sense. And when you look at this timeline, you're trying to figure out, what does it tell us about whether it's the flat tire, driving on the other side of it's not even the town. He's in another city. I mean, he's driving 22 miles away to do what? Like, at least Scott Peterson told us, oh yeah, I went fishing in the bay. Well, we know what he was doing there, but at least he had a story for it. There was never a story from Stephen Stearns about why he's driving around St. Cloud that day. And he lives in Kissimmee, and I don't think he has a job. Really suspicious. And then what does it mean that he's there at 1 o'clock? And then all this activity in the morning. The dumpster.
Where are you going?
Driving away from the school. Driving back into the complex, and then saying that he goes back out. What does it mean? What does it tell us? Tonight, we're going to try to dig a little deeper into all of it to try to make some sense of it, of what it could mean in this case. I mean, my gut reaction is telling me this is just utter panic. Utter panic. That you know, things happened, he's not prepared for it, and now he's scrambling. But then you look at the one other thing, like Jen Soto. Why is her story somehow corroborating his story?
Sounds good, Miss Jeff.
You know, there's two explanations.
Welcome, Heather. Good to see you, dear.
She's being forced to say it, threatened to say it, just parrots whatever he says because he controls her in some way, or she's just flat out lying and covering for him. Let's take a listen to Jen Soto, because you look at what happened to Madeline, all of this is taking place at her birthday party, right? She's alive at her birthday party, turning 13, which leaves the question, when was she murdered? She's celebrating. She's got her birthday dress on. There's people over a relative's house. We think it's grandma's house. There's a cake. There's like everything that's normal, seemingly normal on this day, except one thing. It's not normal. We plan the child's birthday party celebration with relatives on a day when mom can't make it. Like, mom's not there, but the alleged sex abuser is there, and the rest of the family. Let's take a listen to the interview from WFTV, Jen Soto, again, talking about this is the last time that we know she's alive, the birthday party.
She had a birthday party on Sunday. She had a great time. I couldn't make it because I was working, but she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I told her good night, and yeah, that was it.
Told her good night where? Back home? Were you back home and was everyone there? Was she dropped off? Were you talking to her on the phone? I don't know. Is this the last time you talked to your daughter? I just think the description would be a little more specific. I mean, at that point, the body of Madeline hasn't been found. She's a missing child, but still your child is missing. That's never good. Yeah, I told her good night, and that was it. That was it. There was nothing else to it. Nothing else happening. Where's everybody else? Where are you? Did you come back from work yet? Because your mother said you worked late and you're real tired the next morning. So let's go back to the party now, because we do have some video from that party. This is from TikTok, and it's Madeline, and you'll actually get to hear her. It's a short video, but it tells me one thing: when it's a party, right? It's a party, so people take pictures and videos of the birthday girl. Take a look.
You can talk, you can talk. Okay.
She seems to me older than what I was thinking from just the images of her. You know, her voice just seems more mature. I wonder if that's playing a role in everything that happened to her. She's now growing up. Let me bring in my guests. Joining me in Miami, Florida, co-host of Surviving the Survivor podcast. You need to watch it. Joel Waldman is with us. In Orlando, Florida, editor of the Osceola News Gazette, Ken Jackson, and in Los Angeles, board-certified forensic psychiatrist, trial expert, witness, and columnist, Dr. Carol Lieberman. Dr. Lieberman, I'll start with you. In that short video that we just saw of Madeline on her 13th birthday, did anything strike you about that video? Whether it's the way she was acting, the way she presented herself. To me, it's a...
Yes, you guys, real quick. This is the new puppy. This is his name is Alfie or Alfred. Say hi. See it? Say hi. Say hello. Hello. He's not a puppy. This is the one that my daughter-in-law had, and she started working, running a business, and has no time for him. And he started feeling that, so he came here. Him and Milo are now friends. So say hello. 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 What is that? What is that? Anyway, sorry. I'll play that for you guys. I just thought you guys would like to see him. He's very cute. Very cute and very needy. He likes to be held and loved all the time. Moving on.
First time I've heard her talk.
Yes. I wanted more.
I think he is
That's
Victoria.
the first thing I thought. In a way, I mean, she does seem older. Of course, you know, she's been through a lot since 8 years old. She's had to grow up. The other thing is, do you notice how she looks, other than being younger, she looks similar to her mother? And I think that may well have played a role in the abuse. You know, even especially when they wear glasses, both wear glasses, there's a real similarity.
Oh, absolutely. I see it, and I see it in that video more than anywhere. Joel, first time I've got to speak to you about this case, and I know you're covering it in depth as well. What questions do you have about this birthday party? I mean, to me, this is such a significant event. This is the last time that she's interacting with people. It's the last time she's known to be alive, and it just seems like there should be a treasure trove of information coming out of that party.
Yeah, well, kudos to you, Vinny, and thank you for having me back on, for asking all those difficult questions. I mean, these are all the questions that a reporter should be asking, and I've asked them myself. I can tell you from personal experience, I have a book out, I'm going on a book tour, and this morning, my wife said, how on earth are you going to miss your 5-year-old birthday? And I said, look, I'll do whatever I can. Maybe we can push it up. But without question, your question about why the mother, Jennifer Soto, was not there on the day of the birthday is the most pressing and most alarming question to me, albeit her grandmother was there. But it is so odd. My wife would never miss one of my young children's birthdays. Got a 10, an 8, and a 5-year-old. She makes it a point. She's organizing 6 months out. So for a mom not to be there, and I get it. Look, people come up on hard times. They have to work. Maybe she had to be at work. But you'd think that they would arrange it in such a way. And this just leads me back, and of course the psychologist can talk more
There
about
is
this,
in some
about
areas,
this
Tanya.
very seemingly unusual relationship between Jennifer and Stefan Stearns. We've all seen by now these local TV interviews, the ones where he's pacing back and forth behind her. He almost looks like a bouncer at a bar. There's a weird control issue going on there. So I am most curious to know why the mother was not at the birthday.
Ken Jackson, this birthday party, and there's a lot of people there, it seems, but we're not hearing from a lot of people that were there. Hopefully they have spoken and given a lot of information to investigators about that day. But what surprised me is this did not begin as a homicide investigation. It began as a missing persons case. And everyone at that party it has significant information. And I would have thought if you were at the party and she goes missing the next day, everybody would be out talking about what happened the day before, trying to draw up some leads in all of this.
Right. Well, and you're right. This was a missing persons case from Monday when she was reported missing to the Wednesday when we heard from Orange County Sheriff John Muniz said, no, we have good information that she is dead. It is also my understanding that everybody that's been at that party has been interviewed by investigators, may have a hand in why this investigation is taking a while from Kissimmee police. Something that, we've gone around and I've mentioned it, how a mother would not be at her daughter's 13th birthday party. I mean, she's becoming a teenager. When we think that the party was at a grandparent's house, makes me wonder, did the grandparents actually put it on, plan it, have all the hand in it? And Jen, the mom, was just sort of detached from it and was like, well, I'm going to be at work. And, like
That's
you guys said,
point.
There's no way you would miss that.
That's a great point, because my guess is, she's working, she's struggling to, to stay ahead as a single mom. Stefan Stearns, I just don't think he's contributing anything to this home other than pain. Let's take a look. Let's take a closer look at who may have been at that party, because there's a few clues when you look first at the picture we're looking at now. If you take a look at it on the right side of the picture, you see a reflection. We're going to put a little outline there so you can kind of see where we're drawing your attention to. It looks like a man all the way on the right, standing, much larger, with a hat on, it appears. And then to the left of there, it looks like you have a couple of people sitting down. And I was like, well, who else is at this party? Is it just men, or is it like a bunch of people? Then we took a look. I got a little tip from Gray Hughes to take a look at the balloons. And if you look in the balloons, wait a minute, there's reflections. You get a much, I think, clearer picture that, hey, there's a bunch of folks there, and they're taking pictures as well. Looks like a guy's got a cell phone going right there. I look on the right-hand side on that balloon. That almost, to me, looks like grandma. People could disagree, but the balloon on the right, the balloon on the left, I see, at least 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like at least 6 people there. So there are things happening. There's people there. Dr. Carol Lieberman,
I do believe so,
you want to
Tom.
talk to. You want to talk about how was she acting? And what was the dynamic? Like, who was there at the end of the party? Who did she leave the party? Did she stay at grandma's? Did Stefan Stearns drive her somewhere? These are the questions that and information I think those folks would have that is significant. And I wonder, I've got to think they're all going to volunteer that information.
Well, one would hope. Yes, they could have really provide a lot of good information, particularly about the relationship between Madeline and Stefan. Did she try to spend a lot of time with him? Did she try to not? Was she trying to be away from him during the night? Was she talking to other people, other men, or yes, they would have a lot of information. You know what else? Her teachers. I hope that the police are talking to her teachers, all the teachers from age 8 up, to the present, because they really should have and would have, maybe they didn't realize what they were watching, but they would have a lot of information because they would have seen or should have realized from the time that she was beginning to be abused, there are signs. I mean, I'm not trying to put it all on the teachers, but there are signs that teachers could have seen, things like, was she very quiet? Was she anxious? Was she depressed?
And I will myself say that just watching this here alone, she seems a lot older than 13, which means, because she was forced to be older than her age, in my opinion. Anyway, so that's just proof there, to me at least. Well, I thank you so very much, Tomboy. I appreciate that very much, and thank you, Zelda, for that as well. And again, thank you to anybody that has donated to the channel in that
Did
sense.
she
I
not like
appreciate
to
it
be
very much.
touched? Did she not like to be too close to people? Did she act out in school? Now, I know her mother said that she had ADHD, and I know that there was some talk about her possibly being on the autism spectrum. So some of these symptoms of abuse could also be symptoms of those disorders. So, of course, it's hard to tease these things out, but it certainly is worth talking to all of her teachers intensively and seeing whether they can tell something, whether they can see also her progression over the years. Did she get more and more withdrawn, whatever, some kind of sign that there was something going on. Just like we talked about, the mother should have noticed that there were certain signs. The teachers could well have noticed too.
Joel, I want to show you some more pictures from the birthday party from TikTok that were posted. And this made it very clear that the party was not at their home, because this is a completely different neighborhood, different types of homes. But it's incredibly tragic, Joel, to look at this and think about what this symbolizes. Like, this is her last moments, perhaps of happiness on earth, trying to grab some happiness in between the abuse that was taking place. But this was it, like your 13th birthday party, and then someone takes your life.
It is unthinkable. It's a cliche in news. It's a parent's worst nightmare. And sadly, in this case, we don't yet know if it was this parent's worst nightmare. You'd like to think that that's the way she feels. But again, there's so much to unravel here between the relationship between Jennifer Soto and her boyfriend, Stefan Starnes. There are so many alarms that go off. There are reports that the mother, Jennifer Soto, was letting Stefan Starnes sleep in bed with him, which obviously is really incredibly disturbing. And then for me, one of the questions that I have, and I've asked investigators, was this a premeditated killing or was this an impulse killing? And was the trigger the 13th birthday? Obviously, we keep going back to this 13th birthday. We know this abuse was going on for at least 2 years. That's what authorities say. But he was living with them for like 7 years, I believe it is. And you have to wonder, did it go on even beyond that? But disturbing all around, to say the least.
Big thanks to Dr. Carol Lieberman. Joel and Ken are going to stay with us. When we come back, we are going to take a look at that timeline and try to make sense of what could have been happening in that chaotic morning that she was reported missing. Plus, coming up next hour.
In Los Angeles, California, Miami, Florida, and New York City, the federal sex trafficking investigation connected to hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. What was going on in these alleged freak-off sex parties? And is there video evidence of crimes?
It sounds like in Diddy's case, there might actually be an enterprise that was operating.
Again, this is like, 17 to 22 miles away. Changing a flat tire. And we're going to go into detail on the flat tire in a minute.
Thank you, Leslie. I will check that out.
In the next segment, but I want to focus here
again,
on this 735, 810, 819. What's going on? Still with me, the co-host of the Surviving the Survivor podcast, Joel Wallman, and the editor of the Osceola News Gazette, Ken Jackson. And joining us in Portland, Oregon, podcaster Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates. Gray, let me start with you on this. Where he's moving the body, that's what they're saying. He's moving her body in the morning. If he's at the dumpster at 7:35, and then at 8:10 is seen driving away from Hunter's Creek, wherever in the area he is at that point, but moving, not going towards the school, but is driving in the opposite direction from that school at 8:10. Where'd he go? What would be the purpose of any of this?
Yeah, I mean, that's the part that's really strange. At I think it was, remember we talked about the other day, 11:49, he's on that app. So maybe something happened to Madeline in the early morning hours. I don't think people consider 8:19 and 7:45 early morning hours. That's just sort of normal morning hours, right? So it seems like something would have happened before that. But then you look at like, okay, 7:45, he's putting the laptop and the backpack in the dumpster, and then he leaves. So you would assume that she's in the car. I think he leaves. I mean, we don't actually know if he's leaving then, but he does come back at 8:19. So obviously he left after 7:45. He leaves and then he comes back and she's seen in the car and they believe she's not alive. So did he put her somewhere first and then go, oh man, that's not a good spot, and then go get her and then bring her back? And then what's crazy is that's 8:19. Where was Madeline before he left the apartment at like 12:30 to show up where his car had the flat tire at 1:20? I mean, that's like 4 hours where she's just sitting
4 hours, right? What?
Right.
Ken Jackson, I'm looking at this timeline. 7:35, throwing the backpack out. He's near the back of the complex. So if he leaves there at like 7:40 or something, you could get to the school by about 8 o'clock. And then if you left the school, you'd probably be back at around 8:19. I don't know where his license plate reader is, but it's not. It seems like she's got to be already dead at this point, because it doesn't seem like there's enough time in any of this drive. And why would you get rid of the laptop and the backpack if she's still alive, right? That part, I don't think that would make sense.
Well, it tells me is if you've got a teenager in the car who's still alive, and then Stephen trashes the backpack and the laptop, wouldn't there be signs of life? Like if I'm 13 and someone's pitching my stuff and I'm still up, I'm going to jump out and why? What are you doing? Why all this? I'm a little disturbed that he drove to the school at 10 after 8. Now, if we go by what Sheriff Mina says, she's already dead. Why are you driving by the school with a dead body, unless it's in the trunk? Otherwise, you'd see it. I mean, that would put you into some. You're at a school.
I believe he did that just to make it all fall into his narrative and his timeline. Welcome, MCOS. Good to see you. Okay, SRB, take your time. To make it seem as if everything was normal. That was part of his narrative by doing that, in my opinion.
There's liable to be crossing guards, school resource officers, people to see you.
Which again is why I think that he was saying she was sleeping most of the way to the school and so on and so forth. No problem, Zelda. And you are a meatball, that's for sure. But yeah, that's why I think that whole narrative was built from. I'm going to drive by the school with her in the car to make it look like she's there. She was sleeping, so on and so, to make it all so he could be seen. That was what this was all about building his narrative. That's how much of a piece of garbage this guy is. And he still, thank God, didn't get away with it. So
that kind of distresses me as part of the timeline that he would drive to the school. If you say we've got the reader leaving the school at 10 after 8, and he's back in the apartment complex 8:19, that's pretty quick. Going from Hunter's Creek to that's the western side of Kissimmee. That's pretty quick.
Right. And we're not sure where the license plate reader is. What we know is it's driving away from the school. So whether it's 10 minutes away from the school, 5 minutes.
What I'm guessing he did, you guys, with this is he drove to build this narrative, he did what he did. He put her in the car, disgusting, and drove by the school to be seen on the school cameras. Okay. And then drove down around the block or whatever area and came back around to the house again. Okay. To make it look as if he dropped her off and was at the school to do that. That's the narrative that he was building to try to get away with this. That's the whole thing with this, and it's disgusting. That's a good point, Bombshell. That's a good point. When and how did he do this without being seen? What did he put in the car to make it look like? Was it blankets? Was it? I don't even know. Did he do it in the middle of the night and then cover her up with something? Which again, that's taking a chance. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then he handled her after she was deceased. Oh, like a bag of potatoes, you guys. This is so like I can't even attach my mind to this. It's so ridiculous and just disgusting. It really is a mess.
It's away from the school. It's not clear. But what is clear, and we have another guest joining us. We've just hooked up with in Michigan City, Indiana, private investigator, founder of Victims News Online, Erica Morse. Erica, you've investigated a lot of cases, unfortunately involving missing children. She's got someone with a dead body in the car doing all of this back and forth. What does that tell you? If that's what happened, is this unusual from your perspective? Is this like something really, really strange is happening? Is it panic, or is it trying to set up some sort of an alibi here?
So last week when we talked about this, Vinny, you and I were both very frustrated by the discrepancies and some of those missing minutes in that window. What I went back and did is looked at Mom's interviews again, and Mom made a reference in one of them to coming home around 8 a.m. or a little after 8. And I think it may have been panic. I think he may have needed to get her out of the house. Additionally, both Mom and offender said that we dropped her off in separate interviews. And that's a problem for me. They weren't interviewed together when they made these slips. And I think that's exactly what it was. I don't know. I've been thinking about this, and I'm starting to wonder if he only went back for the clicker, or if he may have also gone back for Mom.
For Mom.
It's a possibility.
Joel, have you been as confused as we've been by this scurrying around in the morning?
I'm here,
And you got the
Bombshell.
sheriff saying that he's moving her body around. That's what they believe. But where's he going, and why all these movements?
1,000%. I've been confused. And to your point, I think it is panic coupled with chaos. Whatever time this murder occurred, Stephon Stearns obviously was trying to figure out how to hide this body. But it is so bizarre that they would catch him dropping these backpack and the laptop into the dumpster at 7:35 or so, but then driving to the schools. You have to wonder if he's creating an alibi. But to the private investigator's point, that is something that we analyzed as well on our show, looking at those initial interviews. And by the way,
And she did, Paula. That's part of the problem. None of this stuff lines up. So that's why it's so hard to believe that Jen is not involved because of the statement. Well, I saw her getting dressed at 8 o'clock that morning. But did you? You couldn't have. Because in my opinion, you guys, I'll be honest with you, and I've said this for almost from the beginning, but I think she was deceased the night before. Me personally, that's what I think. There's no facts that prove that yet, but that's what I think it is. And I think it's going to come out at some point that that's going to be the fact, and that the mother didn't see her getting dressed at 8 a.m. And whether she's involved or not, it's a lie, in my opinion. Why she did it, why she lied about it, I don't know. Hopefully, we're going to find that out. But hey, Maria, thank you for joining us. That's what my thoughts are, though. I just don't know as of yet, and hopefully we will soon.
way, if you're committing a crime, you probably shouldn't be doing TV interviews ahead of time because people are going back and looking at those. And she does, in fact, say he dropped her off and then slips and says we, and he does the same thing. So what on earth is going on here? I mean, you have to think, and I hate to say this to a grieving mother, that in one fashion or another, she's complicit, whether she's covering for Stephon Stearns or it's something more sinister, but something just does not sit right, does not smell right. This is a horrific, horrific crime.
You know, the other thing that's baffling here, Gray, is we just saw the video of the dumpster. And I mean, the camera couldn't be like more obvious. It's right there. It's like the camera's in front of me. It's unreal. Like, here's the dumpster cam. Like, do you not see that? Do you not notice that?
Yeah.
It's right there. Boom.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the
Smile.
That's one of the things that makes it. Yeah.
Anything's possible.
I guess that's
Deb.
what makes it seem like.
As sick as that is, anything's
just
possible.
sort of panicking. Something happened. He gets up and does all these things. Now, here's one thing I will tell you. I think I looked up where the license plate readers are. Okay, and one of them that I found was at the intersection of West Donegan Avenue and John Young Parkway, which is that straight long street that goes down that you would take to get down to the main 192 and then go back to the apartments. So it sort of makes sense that at 8:10 that would be there. So I'll show you off the air where that is, then you can update people later.
But of course you're on top of it, Gray. I gave you the 30 seconds and boom, you found this. Okay, stay where you are, everyone. Everyone's staying with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about the flat tire. Because he did change a tire. Was it really flat? How did it get flat? Coincidence? Bad luck? What do you think?
I'm here, Paula.
Madeline's body was discovered.
It was a tip. It was a tip. So significant in all of this. And that's why publicity around a missing person is so important. The awareness of the public that maybe you saw something and you wouldn't know it's important unless you knew about this story and this case and this missing girl. And it happened. Take a look. This was posted on Facebook March 1st from Thomas Karras. I gave the pictures to Osceola County law enforcement as they started their search, and they found where I said I saw him. I saw him around 1:20 Monday, an old hickory tree, pull over on a roundabout that has a cargo shipping container. He was in on the right-hand side heading towards Harmony. He was wearing a green, light brown hat backwards. I didn't see anyone else in the vehicle. He was outside the car at the back left tire with a tire iron. Looked like he was changing it, but couldn't say for sure. All this stuff. Seems like it pans out. Got the name of the road wrong. It's Hickory Tree, not Old Hickory Tree. Let's take a listen. Cody Thomas, our producer, was down there and kind of walks us around the area where this flat tire was.
Now, just across the street here in this area, this little divot off of Hickory Road, is where a witness online describes where he saw Stephon Stearns kneeling down, changing a tire that morning, February 26th, when Maddie Soto went missing. Now, you can see it's just a little gravel divot. A lot of flat land back here, private farmland. Now, police described the area they saw that flat tire situation on Old Hickory Road. There's an Old Hickory Road and a Hickory Road. Hickory Road, again, across the street where Madeline Soto's body was found. So there could be a little confusion as far as what witnesses may or may not have saw between the two. That is Hickory Road and Old Hickory Road. But one thing we do know,
Deb.
again, right across the street, and that tree line behind that memorial, over the fence, is where Madeline Soto's body was found.
I feel like that was his way of showing the reason why he was there. He had either done it or was getting ready to do it, and there was traffic going up and down the road, and maybe something was coming, so he had to make it look good. You know what I'm saying? Again, part of the narrative he was building.
Found on March 1st.
And one other thing we know is that back left tire, which was photographed, was changed. That's a spare. That is clear. Ken Jackson, Osceola News Gazette. This witness coming forward, I think it was the only way you were going to find her in a timely fashion.
Well, that may have been one of the tips that that police used to find her on that Friday. I know there were about 4 or 5 locations between Orange and Osceola County that police were looking for either her or the body. Something that they noted about at this site there. Your producer, walked around that gravel area, which is across the street from the bushes where the body was found. Now, on the other side of the street, and that right there you're seeing that is on the opposite side of the street where it was found. On the same side of the street, there is a little alcove there where someone who's driving down the road would be able to pull off as well. Okay, maybe I'm coming from a common sense point of if you were going to be dumping something like a body there, you would be on the same side of the street, get it done quickly. We've got them in that area between 1 and 2:30, which is broad daylight, an odd time to be doing something like that. I would do it in the middle of the night. Not that I have a point of reference for it.
But that makes a lot of sense, right? Rather than cross the street with the body. Let me ask you, Erica Morris, this 1:20 time to me is significant. And I'm wondering what you're thinking. Mom is going to pick her up at 4. This is the routine. The routine is to pick her up at 4. The school at the time, they've now changed what they do, but the school doesn't call you until the end of the day to tell you that your child wasn't there. So if mom is totally out of the loop, he's got to get this done. He can't wait till after dark and have a body in the car if mom doesn't know about this.
Correct. And we are still unclear as to what mom knows because she's already given inaccurate / false statements to the police about this. I'm trying to think here. Sorry, I lost the question. Can you go back to it again, Vinny? I apologize.
Well, I was saying the time, 1:20. He's up against it because, the end of the school day is the end of the school day. That's when it's going to be very apparent that Madeline did not go to school.
Correct. Yeah. Sorry, I was going back to that gate. Yeah, he definitely had to do it. And when we talked about this last week, we were talking about him, I think, just driving out in the middle of nowhere and trying to find an available spot. And I think that gate being open on that particular day, that cattle owner, that rancher who feels horrible, feels very guilty that he left that gate open. And I really think he would have I think she would have ended up in the first available spot. I think that he chose that out of opportunity more than anything. But whether it's a mom, whether it's a bus driver, whether it's a teacher, whether it's somebody, some adult was going to begin trying to account for this child's whereabouts around 4 p.m.
Gray Hughes, that area, like he is spotted there. And I'm wondering, in his mind, does he have to have a reason to pull over, and that's why there's a flat tire? If he is seen, because he's got to know that there's cars driving by that may be able to identify him. But then on the other hand, it makes no sense to leave the body where you have stopped your car, because that could lead to you the way it did right here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it is an actual flat tire that he had, and I think he was heading somewhere else, much further away, to put her body in the woods somewhere where nobody could find her. And that's why he's on the other side of the road. And then he stopped as fast as he could because he doesn't want to drive around where a police officer is going to have to pull over and ask what's going on. So he literally, I think he is fixing the tire because we see that it's replaced. And then he carries her body across and puts it over there and was, lucky. He probably picked a spot. You can drive on a bad tire for a little bit of time. So he looked over there and he saw that gate's open and then he walked over there. And that's why she's so close to the road. And I tend to believe that he literally got a flat tire and it was a miracle, because the thing is, when you have a flat tire, everybody remembers, right? They drive by and go, oh, there was this guy that had a flat tire.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I can go with that too, because if I don't typically agree with Gray. I'm not a fan of Gray's. I think he's on point with this, that he was going a way further distance away, and she may not have ever been found, you guys. And we'd still be sitting here looking for her. He'd have been out doing whatever he wants to do, and none of this would have happened. So this was definitely very possibly by the God's giving grace that this happened. I'll be honest with you. I have to say that. A lot of you guys probably aren't, I'm not trying to offend anybody by putting God into that. I'm just saying, by the grace of God, this man got a flat tire. Otherwise, he could have taken her somewhere altogether different, further out. I would imagine he would have taken her out somewhere where gators were pretty, around that area and not have to worry about it at that point. You know what I mean? So at that point, it's just saying, thank God that flat tire thing happened.
If you just pull over and park, you're not likely to be remembered because it's just a car pulled over on the side of the road. But if it has a flat tire, you turn your head, look to see if somebody needs help, and you notice it. So that would be a stupid thing to do strategically.
Yeah. Joel Waldman, I'm looking at this whole thing, the way it has played out. It doesn't seem like it's planned out at all. It seems very reactive.
100% with you on that, and with Gray Hughes as well.
And and at this point, I think that something happened. Like I said the night before, the mom came home the next morning and he was panicked the whole time, knowing he had to do something to get rid of this. Now, I can't say she wasn't involved or she was involved. I'm not going to say that at this point because we don't know. As of yet, there's no charges filed on either one of them yet for this, other than the stuff that he has for everything else he did, which is bad enough. But I think this was all about time and timing and building a narrative and building an alibi, you guys. And it's disgusting that it's very possible that he almost got away with this. Wow.
I'm on his side when it comes to his take on what happened. Look, I think we're trying to compute this and trying to make sense of this when this act was done in a completely irrational way. I don't think Stephon Stearns had any sense of, mind at the time. I think he was all over the place, and there'd be absolutely no reason. If you go back to that timeline, 8:10, he drives by Hunters Creek Middle School. In that case, maybe he's trying to set up an alibi so someone sees him and says, oh, he dropped her off at school. In this case, what upside potential is there for him to get a flat tire, for anyone to see him when he's that many miles away? And that's where they discover the body. There's absolutely no chance he did it on purpose. I think he had a flat tire. It was bad luck, and this might be what ultimately could get him the death penalty if he is charged with murder here.
Absolutely. And the point where we are in this entire investigation is the last we've heard from Kissimmee PD. They're putting together the timeline. They're working with the state attorney's office as well. They're in no rush because Stephon Stearns, as the prime suspect, is already in custody for all the charges related to what was found or allegedly found on his phone. A big thank you to everyone tonight. Joel Waldman, host of the Surviving the Survivor podcast, Ken Jackson, Osceola News Gazette, Erica Morris, private investigator, and Gray Hughes. Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Great to see everyone tonight. Thank you for joining our discussion and our investigation, and we'll do it again very, very soon.
I did get the email, everything. That's very cool, Tomboy. Thank you very much for that. But just so you guys know, I don't ever expect gifts from you guys. It is so appreciated, guys. It hits me in the heart when you guys send me gifts or do things like that for me. It's amazing to me. it really means the world to me. It does. So thank you guys for that very much, Tomboy. I'm super excited to get it, and I appreciate the time and effort you put into it. It means the world to me, just so you guys know. So thank you very much. Milo, quit. Oh Lord. He keeps trying to mount this dog. It's crazy, you guys. So anyway, I can't wait to get that Tomboy. I did check that out, but thank you very much for that. And that goes for anybody that has sent me anything or will send me. Please know, I mean it from the heart. Thank you very much for everything you guys send me and do. You guys are amazing. Okay, now let's see here. Uh, Doodle just sent me this one here. Justice for Jonah. Another one here that we're looking at. Which looks kind of another sad situation, unfortunately. Is this these two? Does this probable cause go with this doodle? Or is this different? Can you guys hear me okay? It never stops. You're not lying, Victoria. Riley Ferraro. Okay. Yes, you is here. Okay, thank you. Um okay. Yeah, okay, this goes together. Probable cause statement from the Missouri State Highway Patrol. I, Corporal Andy Woods, knowing false statements on this form are punishable. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. I may have to bring this up tonight, Doodle, because there's a lot of reading and there's a second part to this. But I will be back in here tonight, so I will probably pull this up and run this tonight as well. Absolutely. More than likely, yes. Ray. Is it Thursday already? Yep, it is April 4th. Okay. Yeah, I'll be having that on Thursday for sure. Yeah, guys, I'll pull this up tonight when we come back in and cover this one later this evening or early this evening, later this afternoon for sure. Because I've been running for almost 3.5 hours now. Yes, I will be up here again tonight, Moonlit, for sure. I got a couple things going. I have an interview, hopefully, with the grandmother of Tamontez Hurt, hopefully. And anything else that we've hit on, if there's any updates with that as well. So I will be here tonight, and then I'll bring this one to you as well. There's a lot of reading because it's a probable cause affidavit and so on and so forth. So I do appreciate you all very much. And thank you for understanding that because we went through a lot today already. But yeah, I got that now, Doodle. Thank you for that. And Moonlit, thank you for that info. Like I said, if I have the information given to me and I have the tools, we're gonna cover it. So thank you guys for supporting that. Again, for Sebastian's case, supporting what's going on with Madeline Soto. And again, guys, don't forget to stick with me, tune in because I have a big story coming that we're going to be covering in regards to child trafficking that I need everybody to see and hear. Okay. So you're not going to want to miss this, guys, for sure. So thank you guys so very much for today. Again, I will see you guys later on late this afternoon. It sounds good, Victoria, but thank you for joining. Hopefully weather permitting, everything's good. Keep your fingers crossed about that. But thank you all for joining me today. I appreciate you very, very, very much. Don't forget, guys, to love yourselves and love each other. And please, 1 second here. Don't forget, we need to bring Sebastian home. Hashtag Team Sebastian, bring him home 100%. So thank you for that as well. All you guys, Ray, Baltic, yes, fine, Sebastian, Roger, CZ, thank you. All you guys, thank you just for being who you are. Don't change a thing about yourselves because you guys are the beautiful people. And I promise you guys, I will see you very soon. Have a great one till then. Bye-bye.